thing you said has still confounded me. That you just said just now.
Yes. No, I have the video.
Hi, and welcome to episode 17 of the Graveyard Media Podcast for the week of November 6, 2017. With me are hosts who won't shut up, Dalsson and Thel.
Yay!
Oh, we only get one because we only have one screen. There's
And
only
then
gonna
me,
be
Saine Grey.
we get one introduction. That's it.
Just one.
No, but for real, you guys know that you're not supposed to talk when I'm starting the podcast because it makes it really hard to edit later.
We didn't. Yeah. We didn't know that you were starting the podcast. You just told us.
I said, "Okay, you guys are ready," and you both said yes. And then I started.
And then we started talking.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
So what's
Anyway.
first on the agenda today?
What have we
Okay,
played?
so we're gonna start off by games and movies we've seen and watched, or played and watched, or whatever this week,
Okay.
And then move into the news. So, I haven't really played that much. Do you guys want to start this week?
What have we fought? We played Night in the Woods, but I mean, I
we
feel
played
like
Night in the
talked about
Woods.
it. I feel like we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we can just plug that now.
yeah,
It's gonna be
alright.
coming on our YouTube channel if 90% of you missed it like you did.
Yeah.
That's
Well, here's the thing. If you want our opinion and our thoughts of the playthrough that we did on Night in the Woods, you can watch the entire goddamn thing because we are uploading all of it to YouTube.
How drunk were you?
Not
depends on the
really.
day.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, depends on the day. Some days we were really drunk. Some days we were just tired.
Mostly Thel was drunk.
Mostly I was drunk. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Night in the Woods.
Ooh.
You know, I think we should. I still think we should do a playthrough of Oxenfree
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oxenfree.
because
That we were having issues with, but now that we kind of like know what to
Yeah.
do with it, yeah.
Anyway, so what
That was that.
is that? It
That's it.
Yeah, that
played
that's
Night in the
what we-
Woods and nothing else this week.
I've legitimately not played another video game this week. It's been kind of a busy week.
I played Cash Register.
Yeah, it was.
It-
my
I mean,
favorite.
you know,
let me describe it. Boop.
Yeah, that's like Papers, Please, right? Anyway,
Yeah,
or Job
yeah.
Simulator, right? Yeah,
My
I'd play that
favorite
game before.
instrument.
The
Anyway.
Cash Register.
Anyway,
I loved its use in Money by Pink Floyd. Beautiful.
yeah. In terms of video games, I think, because again, it was Halloween week, so I was busy all week too.
Yeah.
I played more Cuphead. I don't really have that much more to say about it yet. I beat 2 more bosses on the 3rd island.
Ooh, that's more than me.
I beat the bee
That
lady.
was gonna make me play Cuphead with him, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I beat the bee lady, and I beat the little pirate guy, the ship.
I did beat the pirate guy. That was the only boss on the 3rd island I could beat.
That one to me was harder than that. Well, yes and no. I feel like only the last phase of that boss was hard. But it probably took me longer than actually killing the bee lady.
Once I actually got to the last phase of the pirate guy, I beat it within like 4 or 5 tries. I thought the first couple of phases were really hard for some reason.
I made it to the last phase on the first try.
Really?
So, but
The
Here's the
bee,
thing.
I got to the last phase once, and I was like, fuck this, I can't even hit her.
oh, the last phase.
Yeah.
What I did
'cause,
for
like-
that. So I played that. It took me a while to get to the last phase because I got this really bad string of where it would give me the suckier second phase every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's this one where her head turns into like a ball and goes to the bottom, and then she does like little zigzag missiles. That one
Yeah, that
fucks me
one-
up so bad.
I
But-
cannot do that one.
But what I ended up doing was I took a charge attack, which is actually now probably my favorite skill, just straight up, because
Yeah.
it does so much damage that it kills them so fast. You know the police guy, the police bee or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
You can kill him with 5 charge shots.
Ooh.
So
That's really good, actually. He messed me up for a while until I was like, wait a second. Why don't I just not use roundabout? Which is like the one time I've ever said that in the game.
yeah, right. I started by using Roundabout, but eventually I got to the point where it's like, I could probably just kill him faster if I used the charge attack. And that's what I did. I got really good at hitting him 5 times, like, before he made it back to the other side of the screen. Like, that's how how fast I killed him.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe I should invest in charge, but I can't beat the stupid mirror up and down gravity bullshit. Fuck.
Oh, you're still stuck on that one?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh, I haven't played Cuphead again since I quit.
Oh, all right.
Live on stream.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, immediately after that, Thel came out, and you guys have been busy, so.
That's true.
Yeah, basically.
Other than Cuphead, I'm trying to think. What did I play? Anything else? I think I played Starpoint Gemini for like 5 minutes, and then went,
What is that?
I don't have enough time for this right now, so I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah.
It's a space sim,
Oh,
but yeah. So I was like, I wanted to launch it just to see what it was like, but
Okay.
5 minutes playing it for 5 minutes, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to begin to understand this in like the half an hour I have to play video games right now, so I'm just gonna not play this and just play something else.
Yeah.
you're right. That makes sense.
That's just life in space sims.
Yeah.
You're invest 200 hours
Well-
into Elite Dangerous, bitch.
Some of them
Nice.
are I feel like Elite Dangerous was easier to pick up right away.
Yes.
Compared to Starpoint Gemini, where it's like the very first screen you see in the game is like 20 menus. So
Right.
and tutorials are boring, man. Like they need I wish more games were able to like a good thing about Nintendo games is they do a very good job of like teaching you the mechanics of the game while playing the game. And I feel
Yeah.
like too many games don't do that. And I know it'd be harder in something like a Space Sim where you do have
Yeah.
lots of menus for a reason, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's probably one of the hardest part of game design, but they probably need to put more work into that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Space Sims in particular seem really bad with that because they
Yeah.
have
definitely.
to have so many menus. So I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
the quickest one of all of them that I've been able to pick up, strangely, was the Citizen
EVE Online.
Star Citizen,
Yeah.
Oh, Star Citizen.
which
yeah.
was kind
Yeah.
of odd. But
Yeah.
Well,
I
Star
also saw a
Citizen-
gameplay trailer for that. That game really starting to pick up. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. Has any like news, like, do you know, has any news about like beta 3. Alpha 3.0 come out?
No, not yet. And the stuff
Oh.
that they were showing wasn't going to be in it either yet. But I hear it's really soon, so it's soon.
Okay. Well, the truth is they've been saying it's soon for 2 years.
No, I think they mean actually soon. Like I think
Speaking
they
of
mean like
soon,
within the
I
next
am-
couple months.
Oh, okay.
Night in the Woods was one of the like first projects when Kickstarter launched,
Was it?
and it came out this year.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know that game was a Kickstarter.
It was
Did it
it
come
was a
out this
Kickstarter,
It absolutely was a good
and
one.
like for 6
God,
years.
did it
people
really
were
come
saying-
out this year? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
earlier this year.
Yeah.
And you know what? More comes out at the end of the year. So excited. I
Yeah,
love
they're
that
going to
game.
have a director's cut, and we already talked about it
We
the
did
last
talk
time.
about that one.
and we're
Yeah, no, I mean like just this year in gaming has been crazy. Like
Yeah,
it's been
there's
a
been
lot
so
of
many
good year.
games. There's been so
Yeah.
many good games. It's hard to like even remember all the good games that have come
Yeah.
out this year. And I know
Yeah.
I haven't even played them all yet. Like I don't
can't
even
wait
know
for
how
the
we're
Video
gonna.
Game Awards, where all of the December games win Game of the Year every single time.
Not this time.
People will remember the
except
ones
for-
that didn't come out. Night in the Woods, that didn't come out
What are you
this year,
talking
did
about?
it?
There's no way. Resident Evil isn't going to make people's lists. There's no
Yeah,
way that Breath of the
Breath of the
Wild isn't
Wild.
going to make people's
Yeah.
lists. There's no way Persona 5 isn't going to make
Near, yeah, near
Near Automata.
was
Like that's
also-
another
yeah.
one that I have to
Yeah.
play before Christmas. And I haven't
Yeah.
even gotten the new Mario game yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently it's incredible.
I have heard that it is absolutely phenomenal.
and that just tickles my winks. I want to play it too.
Okay.
A lot
can
of
you
people have been
not say
saying that
Tails
is
My Wings
the
in my-
best Mario game ever made now. Like it is finally crossed that border of being better than Super Mario 64.
God damn.
And it's the best-selling Mario of all time too, already.
Oh, good.
Better than
Or
Galaxy?
fastest selling anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's great.
So yeah, that Mario game looks really freaking good.
Yeah. I'm excited to pick it up.
So let's talk about the movies that probably only I have seen this week. Thor Ragnarok.
All right, hit us with it. What is it?
Hilarious.
What is it? It is a Marvel movie starring Thor. Takes place in regards to Ragnarok, and Hulk is there too.
Yeah. Okay. What I've heard about it was a lot of people were a little bit disappointed because this felt more like a Marvel movie than a Taika Waititi movie, and they were hoping more for the latter.
Okay.
No.
I don't think that's most people's opinion.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah. Fair. But that's what I was hearing.
Maybe, but like all I have been hearing is that it's the best Marvel movie yet. That's all I've been hearing from people. And
Which
actually,
is not what a lot of people say when a Marvel movie comes out.
Yeah.
It's not
typically
like
that's not. Yeah.
every single one is.
Yeah, and that's weird because the other Marvel movie that came out this year, excluding Spider-Man, which is weird, they had 3 this year. Oh my God. Yeah, Guardians. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy too. I thought it was fantastic.
Here's the deal.
And
the reason why I think people are looking at it so favorably is because it falls right in the vein of Guardians of the Galaxy. It is that kind of fun.
Excellent.
Like, it's like this movie is weird to me because it is simultaneously the most connected to every other Marvel movie, but does it in such a way that you don't have to have seen any of them.
Nice.
That's good.
It like I don't really. It's really surprising how they've done that. There are a lot of like obvious like subplots going on that are connected to other things. Like the Tesseract shows up, for instance.
Okay.
So it's like it's not like it's disconnected entirely.
Every time somebody says Tesseract, I still think of the like one episode of Doctor Who where there was a thing called a Tesseract, and it was like just a body that could change shape. That little mini aliens lived inside. It was like much stupider than a Marvel Tesseract.
To be honest, the Marvel Tesseract could probably do that.
Yeah,
it's the space Infinity Stone, so it can do reality like bending things, like making two things occupy the same space at the same time.
I think they called it a Tesseract in Doctor Who because the way that it shifted shape was by tessellating.
Well, all right.
Like a bunch of squares just flipped over in a row.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that's the thing about like that's basically what a Tesseract is. It's like the shadow of a 4-dimensional object in 3-dimensional space.
Okay.
I did not know that, but that's cool.
Oh. Yeah. It's
So,
like
yeah.
I think you've like probably seen like the image of like a cube that's inside of another like smaller cube that's connected by like the sides. That's a Tesseract.
That's pretty neat.
It's like what a shadow is for a 3D person in 2D space.
Yeah.
Isn't the fourth dimension time?
Basically.
Anyway,
that's basically as far as we know, it probably is.
Anyway, so yeah, So this movie actually did. I was listening to another podcast called, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's between Comic Historian and the guy from Comics Explained. They kind of were talking about all of the different comics that it wrapped up into one story, which is actually, it's kind of crazy just how many different storylines there are. So simultaneously, there's Ragnarok, which is a Thor story. Actually, surprisingly, not that similar to the comic books or the traditional Norse myth of Ragnarok. It's kind of unconnected from both of those. Kind of oddly. It's also Planet Hulk. That's what I thought. Much of the story takes place on Sakaar, even though their version of Sakaar is very different from.
So, wait, Planet Hulk, but not World War Hulk, or was there parts of that in it?
So World War Hulk takes place after Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Like
really?
Significantly after. So I'm just gonna explain it real quick.
Okay.
So there's a story called Marvel's Illuminati that came out about the same time as, or I think it was like right before Marvel Civil War. In Marvel Illuminati, they I think it was like Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, Namor the Submariner, Black Bolt from the Inhumans, and Professor X. Oh, and the King of Wakanda, Black Panther.
Yeah.
They all voted on. Oh, and Mr. Fantastic. They all voted on like they formed a group to kind of like from behind the scenes sort of plan out what they're gonna do about superheroes and stuff.
All of the stuff that's going to happen in the future.
Which led into Civil War. But one of the first things they did before Civil War was launch Hulk into outer space. So he wasn't there for Civil War.
Yeah, that was like a...
and I know the story from there. He goes to a planet, since he's...
I mean, not exactly. Not exactly. So what happens from then is when his spaceship is going through outer space, randomly it gets sucked into a wormhole that sends him to a different planet. Later on you find out because I think it was Silver Surfer was trying to like I don't know. It was like a help
thing. Dumb galactic shit.
Yeah. So Hulk gets sent to Sakaar, crash lands on Sakaar. It's they intended to send him to an unpopulated planet, but they sent him to a populated planet, where they put Hulk, or Bruce Banner and Hulk put Hulk in charge because it was such a dangerous place that Bruce Banner was just like, I'm not gonna cut it here. You just take the reins, buddy.
It ain't gonna happen, man.
So yeah, the Hulk runs around and they put in a so then he goes into a gladiatorial games and whatever, and that leads to him eventually conquering the planet and overthrowing. None of that is World War Hulk. All of that is Planet Hulk. What happens in World War Hulk is
he's so angry that he takes his warriors and jumps from planet to planet.
Okay,
right?
Step back. No, because there's actually a very important thing that happens right before then.
Fuck.
So the ship that he was sent on from the Illuminati had a nuclear drive in it. That explodes, killing his wife and child.
Oh.
On Planet Hulk. So that's what pisses him off. So he goes, and actually, over the course of Planet Hulk, he becomes more intelligent and is actually, like, completely lucid as the Hulk, which kind of happened a little bit before that, but not really. Right. This is probably the most, like, cognitively there that the Hulk has been at kind of not at any point in time, but at this point in time, anyway, he's very intelligent. Mm-hmm. So he goes to Earth, and World War Hulk is basically him hunting down every member of the Illuminati and basically killing them.
I see.
The ones who are there. By that point, Reed Richards isn't there. I think Xavier is in a coma or dead or something at the time.
Does he kill Black Panther?
No. Actually, I think that he goes to Black Panther and I think he conquers Wakanda, actually.
So he becomes the Black Panther.
No, I think he conquers Wakanda, but then goes, and then Black Panther's like, I didn't even vote to send you off planet. That wasn't my choice. And he was like, okay.
He was like, oh, okay, dude, you're cool. Everybody loves Black Panther. Yeah,
yeah. There were a handful of people that he didn't really like. When he went to the X-Men, he wanted to talk to Xavier. Oh no, actually Xavier wasn't dead. He had just come back to life. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately Hulk was just like, I was just wanted to scare you. Because of all of them, he liked Xavier the best. I don't know. But whatever the case, World War Hulk was basically him killing off major characters in the Marvel Universe. Or defeating them. He didn't really... I don't know if he actually killed anyone, but yeah, so World War Hulk was basically like the Marvel Universe, Earth's mightiest heroes versus the Hulk. So, this movie takes place like is kind of kind of Planet Hulk, but scaled back considerably. And the Grand Master was there, who is not the principal villain in Planet Hulk, but he's actually really funny in this. He's played by Goldblum.
Really?
Yes, Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
he was really funny.
Welcome to Hulk Park.
So yeah, this movie was really funny in that it very much took a lot of the tone cues from Guardians of the Galaxy. It actually kind of, in a way, it's kind of sad, but it sort of ditched all of the shit from the other Thor movies, except for like Odin, Loki, Surtur, and then Thor, and then also there's that evil chick. I forget her name.
Enchantress.
No, she wasn't Enchantress.
Was it Death?
It was not Mistress Death. That is a distinct character. It is the god of death.
Hell.
Hell. Thank you.
Yes.
It is the goddess of death, Hell, which is distinct from the Mistress of Death. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
It's not Hell.
Here's the thing: are they going like in fucking Infinity War? Are they going to have Thanos want to impress the Death?
No. This is it. Okay.
Are we
the
sure?
One that, yes, because the one first. I don't know that we know for sure that that's what Thanos' goal is in the cinematic
or
universe.
Is he just going to show up and be a big eggplant and try and kill everyone?
But in the comics, that is a distinct character who is Mistress Death, who is different from
Mistress Death is the girl who Deadpool is like really sweet on, and then there's this girl who's like a fucking bad guy. That's it.
Mistress of Death is the same character between Thanos and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Hell, Goddess of Death, is like those as guardians who do not die in battle go to her realm.
Right. Yes.
As opposed to Valhalla.
Yeah, right. Which is
so I guess that's what the difference. Except they didn't say that in this. She was just kind of like
I'm here.
Thor's sister. In the movie, she was Thor's sister, which is actually a different comic book story where a different character was Thor's sister. But I don't know.
Okay.
But the tone is actually like really reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy. They start off with a really like really interesting rock music that's like not. It doesn't seem like a Thor movie, I guess, kind of initially, because it's about Thor things, but it doesn't follow the same tone that the other Thor movies had.
So I kind of am glad about that.
Yeah.
Thor movies were the worst of the Marvel movies.
So does it follow the concept of Ragnarok? Like Fenrir gets unchained, Jormungandr comes to kill Thor. Anything?
Okay, so without spoiling too much, Fenrir is there, but she follows the Mistress of, or the Goddess of Death. So she's one of Hell's minions, kind of.
Is she even a? Okay, for my first problem is she. Also, is she only even like a wolf?
Fenrir is a wolf. The Goddess of Death is Hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, Fenrir is a wolf.
But Fenrir is a girl in this?
I don't know. They don't say the gender of Fenrir.
You were referring to Fenrir as she, is why.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
No, I was saying Mistress Death, or not Mistress Death.
Okay.
I was saying Hell was she. I was saying he was following her, as in whatever.
Norse death rather
Norse
than regular death.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Hell.
Yeah.
And so Fenrir was there.
Okay.
Surtur was there.
Okay.
I mean Loki was there.
Obviously,
yeah, of course.
The one who kills Thor, I don't know who that is. No.
That's the world serpent.
Yeah,
giant
the big snake.
Big snake.
No, there was no big snake.
Big snake.
Big snake.
Can
we keep saying big snake?
Big snake.
Big snake.
Big snake.
Big snake.
Anyway, to sum up my thoughts, it was good. I don't know what else to really say. If I had to compare it to any one Marvel movie, I would compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Probably one.
And that's a pretty glowing recommendation. I've also heard like a lot of good things about it.
Yeah,
I have.
A lot of people are saying it's the best Marvel movie so far. I wouldn't go that far. I still liked Winter Soldier better.
Yeah.
And I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 better still.
Yeah, but... I will always gush about Guardians 2. I thought Guardians 2 was fantastic. That one's probably going to make my top 10 movie lists, which is weird because I usually don't put like Marvel movies there.
So yeah, it's definitely in the top 10 of Marvel movies for sure. Probably the top 5. It's I don't know. For me though, I still like
for him.
Yeah, I still like Winter Soldier better. Doctor Strange was in it a little bit. Mostly at the beginning. He was actually I don't know. He was kind of funny. His role was funny in this movie. but that
I feel like I would like Doctor Strange better as a character in other Marvel movies than I would in his own movie.
I thought he was okay in his own movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like the character was fine. It's just the movie itself was like, okay, here, this is another one. This is another.
Yeah,
one.
It felt a little samey, but in a way, I mean, they could have done it better. I'm not gonna argue with that. But in a lot of ways, I think they were just trying to get his origin off the ground so that he could be in place for other stories. So I kind of like
getting origins off the ground. I'm surprised.
I can't wait for the new Spider-Man movie.
Well, I'm surprised that they haven't done anything with Namor. I mean, he's a hard fucking character to do anything about because no one gives a shit about Namor.
No, I am glad that they don't have Namor.
Marvel Aquaman.
I've always kind of disliked Namor.
Yeah, so. And I think that you're not alone. I'm pretty sure everyone kind of dislikes Namor.
And at a point in time where there's also Aquaman,
yeah,
it might be too confusing anyway. Because if you think about Namor, he's just basically Marvel's Aquaman.
Yeah,
but Aquaman, like DC's Aquaman, has always been more popular.
Yeah,
which is saying something because he's never been that popular.
DC, but people know who the fuck he is.
Right?
And they made a cartoon about him once.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like
and he's gonna be in the DC movies, so
I feel like Marvel tries to make Namor like. Because of the fact that he's king of fucking Atlantis, they try to make him constantly relevant in their comics, so maybe they're just gonna do the whole thing without him? I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't like Namor either. I'm just kind of surprised.
I'm not.
Was
he's
Namor
one of the
in
most
Ragnarok?
Boring. No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, I won't
deny that.
He was in the Illuminati.
Yeah, he was in the Illuminati. He was like the one who didn't want to fucking be there, like straight up.
No, the thing about Namor is he's one of the most boring Marvel characters anyway, just because it basically everything he's in, he's like, I don't want to be involved. This doesn't involve Atlantis, so I don't care. Like that's like all he does.
That's kind of what Aquaman does sometimes
he's
too.
Like
he does that all the time. That's his
like,
entire character.
He's like Black Panther, but worse. Black Panther's kind of like that too. He's like, oh, this doesn't really involve Wakanda, so it's not my problem. Whereas in this, it's like we are very far away from everyone else in Atlantis, so we don't care. Like, even like the world events, like the world-ending events.
Go ahead,
Ultron,
nuke the world. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, basically. Like he shows up occasionally, but it's like the same thing with Black Bolt. Like they're doing that Inhuman series, but I think it's already canceled, and I don't even know if they're gonna finish the run of it.
Ooh,
no, we've talked about Inhumans a couple times. Inhumans was created by the same guy who did Iron Fist,
right?
Which is why it's fucking awful.
Oh God. But yeah, like Jesus, Inhumans, Jesus. My God.
So Thor Ragnarok, it was good. Definitely recommend seeing it. One of the better Marvel movies, kind of period. Yeah, I don't know if you. It's not like that anything else is playing right now. Honestly, like everything until Star Wars comes out, there's basically nothing. So
yeah, like shit. Oh well, and there are like things I suppose.
Oh, there's also
near you.
Isn't there? There's also the DC movie, Justice League. Justice League is coming out this month too, I think.
Directed by Zack Snyder with help by Joss Whedon.
I don't know. I'll see it. Whatever.
I ain't paying.
I'll see it, but
yeah, you see everything.
Yeah, I'll see it. I'll tell you how it is because I'll see it.
Oh, good. One of the things I feel like there are a bunch of movies coming out, but not like out in like theaters. I feel like there's a bunch of stuff coming out to like Netflix or that's getting picked up and just all this other stuff that it's like either really hard to see or you ain't gonna see it in the theater before Star Wars. And then Star Wars is gonna come out and make fucking $1 billion.
Yeah,
I'm gonna complain about it on this very podcast. Stay tuned.
I don't think anything's gonna come out with Star Wars either. Because it's like, we don't want to fight with that. We don't want to fight with Star Wars.
Agreed. Oh, yeah.
You reminded me with Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Saine, did you finish Stranger Things too?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. We were going to talk about that too.
Finish it. We hadn't finished it by the time.
We talked about it. That's what I mean. We talked about that, or I think it was just me and Saine talking about it. But yeah,
Yeah. So actually, let's transition into Stranger Things.
Let's move on to that. Steve Harrington has never lost a child.
Steve Harrington is the best character in Stranger Things.
We love Steve Harrington.
I love Steve Harrington.
Steve Harrington is our new husband. We love him.
So, the whole time I was watching it, I thought it was going to be 12 episodes for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
It was actually 9. And then I went back to check season 1, which was 8. So it is actually more episodes than season 1, which is weird because I thought it was 12 and 12, but...
Yeah, I don't know. It felt shorter, but that's not a bad thing. It wrapped itself all up nicely, except for a couple of loose threads that are obviously going to be frustrating.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to say something about that. I do feel like there was one thing at the end of Stranger Things 1. I'm not just going to call them Stranger Things 1 and Stranger Things 2 because that's what they want to be called, and I respect that. There was one thing that was sort of okay, we're gonna have another season if this works out because Will coughs up a slug, I feel like it did that much more organically in this one. There were a lot of loose threads that were peppered throughout the series, and it was okay, these are going to be big plot points because these are big things happening in the world.
It did feel like It did feel like season 2 kind of expanded on a lot of things that they kind of, I don't know, would make logical sense coming from season 1. They kind of expanded the story about the other kids that were involved. So what was your overall impressions? I actually liked Stranger Things 2 better than the original one, which is surprising because I really liked the original one. So
yeah, I honestly don't know. I've been watching the rewatching the original one piece by piece, little by little. I really, really like it. It's one of those things where I really, really like season 2 because of season 1. Just because, I mentioned the other day, there were so many of the character dynamics that weren't in season 1. A bunch of characters interact that didn't even know each other in season 1, and they have these great interactions, these great dynamics, and it all works really, really well, and it's fun to see all the characters get back together and build off of what they had in season 1. I don't know. I almost see this as more of a whole than a just 1 and 2. Even though that's
for sure. I mean, they kind of lead directly into each other, and it doesn't even feel like it stops. There's a time gap, but it feels like it logically moves right into it. That being said,
I don't know.
That being said, I thought I liked the better use of music. I liked how, because I talked about that a little bit last time. I thought they had done a better job, kind of having music interspersed with it. Where the first one was kind of more ambient, more kind of spooky, horror movie. In the kind of a classic horror movie, the whole series had more of a classic horror movie kind of peak to it. Yeah. In terms of conflict. Whereas I feel like this one was a little bit more, I don't know, all over the place in a good way. Yeah. It was, I don't know. It seemed like more. I don't know. It felt bigger in a lot of ways, which I really appreciated it.
There were a lot more things sort of going on. There was a lot more the plot was less streamlined about the one thing happening and more about all of the consequences of the previous thing and also all of the new stuff happening, and then there was also all this stuff outside of it. And of course, because it's 9 hours long, it's all okay. This doesn't get muddled. There's time enough for everything.
Yeah, it's interesting in the way, most of the time when you say that it had way more stuff, that's almost always saying a bad thing. It's it's just filled with
it got all fucking muddled.
But this one, it's it did so much, such a good job of adding so much to it without making it feel bloated or any of it didn't matter. I think there's one aspect that I felt they didn't expound on it very much, but maybe they'll expand it a little bit later. But other than that one piece, I feel it
did really well.
It just it took the original season of Stranger Things and just brought it to another level. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's another thing about it. I really love the pacing of Stranger Things in general because it flows really well. It's a very hashtag binge-worthy series. It's sort of made to be watched in like one sitting.
But at the same time, I feel like you can watch one episode and step away from it and it'd be fine.
Yeah, each episode does have its own, like, obviously it's a Netflix original. It's designed to binge watch, so every episode ends on a cliffhanger, but every episode is also kind of has its own individual thing going on. Like in one episode we get to see redhead girl Max's like relationship with her brother, and in another episode we get to see Steve hang out with Dustin. Yeah, which by the way is just so good. I just love one of my favorite things in media in general is when there's an asshole cool kid like Steve Harrington who, like, when you first meet him in Stranger Things 1, you're like, oh, this guy's an asshole cool kid and I hate him and I'm supposed to hate him. So
he's had a very really good character arc.
Yeah,
Steve, it feels like it's very logically moved along for him. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it feels forced.
No, it's not absolutely. Like it suddenly turned out that he was actually a cool dude. It's like he was always kind of a cool dude, really. Like we see him bullying what's
I don't remember the Will's brother.
Yeah, we see him like bullying Will's brother, but when you like and he seems like a dickhead when he's doing that. He's like trying to break his camera and shit in Stranger Things 1, and it's like, but that makes sense. You photographed him having sex with a woman. Of course he's going to want to break your camera.
And not only that, but he had
call you a creeper and piece of shit and stuff. Like
he had like a little bit of an arc. He had like sort of the basic arc in like Stranger Things season 1.
Yeah,
where he was like, this asshole, but it's truth that the other friends were just assholes, and then he turned into sort of like an almost coward character. But in this season, he just completely redeems himself.
Well, no, because even at the end of the season 1, he kind of redeemed himself.
Oh a little bit, yeah.
Because he helped it. Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't want to spoil things, but he did help them at the end of season 1.
Yeah, he winds up helping. He winds up helping with one aspect of it, but in this, he's like,
and then this he starts off. Yeah, he starts off kind of like way more involved than he was before.
Yeah,
which is because he's really one of the only people who like know or are allowed to know about the events of Stranger Things 1.
Oh, also that's also an aspect I really, really liked. How the facility, the Hawkins Power Secret Lab, sort of changed from what it was in season 1 to what it is in season 2. Yeah. How it sort of chilled out about everything. Yeah. I thought that was really, really interesting. And there was a new character that was a new director of Hawkins Lab. was a great guy.
Yeah, he was a cool dude too. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna fight or something.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore now because I feel like the more we've gone on, the more likely we are to spoil it. So
yeah. Anyway, it's good. Yeah. If you like Stranger Things 1, you're gonna like this. If you haven't watched Stranger Things 1, you're gonna like it. Yeah. So
yeah. And one thing I do want to say about like the which one I like better, I really do feel like these have like very, very good finales. They're very, very tense and very, very interesting finales.
Oh, for sure.
And that's like the point. I can't think of like which was better because like there's some really, really good stuff in the end of season 2 and really, really good stuff at the end of season 1. Like there's a point where like a truck gets flipped and it's like, wow, that was really, really good in season 1. And in season 2, there's like a bunch of similar stuff happening and it's also really, really good. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't choose. I love both of them.
I think one of my favorite little things that's interspersed, like, and I'm sure all three of us love this because we're huge fucking nerds. It's just interspersed through the whole thing is just tons of D&D references.
Yeah.
And they're not like, oh, look, there's Dungeons and Dragons over there. No, it's like little references. Like they called the monster the Demogorgon because that's what they associate. And like to those kids who one of their favorite pastimes is play Dungeons and Dragons, that's like an easy way to explain things, like an easy way to call things different things, like
or at least name things, or kind of have
name things exactly where they all will know what they're talking about immediately, even if they don't like it's cool.
But also the cop dude's reaction it was funny
Yeah, that was some good stuff.
Anyway, I don't think we're gonna take a break quite yet.
Okay.
Let's keep going for a while, but we are gonna head into the news now.
Wow. That's the first time we've ever done that without taking a break, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but the last few times, I feel like this is probably gonna go another 2 hours or something from now, probably.
Yeah.
So it would be make more sense to do a break like in an hour than right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Or at least half an hour or something.
A while, yeah, in a little bit.
So what news do you want to start it with?
We have a lot of news.
Yeah.
Most of it's from BlizzCon.
Yeah. Well, on the video game side, yeah.
Shall we just go in order from video games?
Well, I might jump around a little bit, but let's start with the Assassin's Creed thing.
Okay, fair enough.
The reason I wanted to go in order is because now I can't find the Assassin's Creed thing.
It's the big blue one. It is the very top thing.
Oh, right. This was linked before today.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This is the one I linked.
This happened after last one. Yeah. So, Assassin's Creed Origins recently came out, and it has 4 layers of DRM.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy it through Steam. If you buy it through Uplay, it has 3. But it has, if you buy it through Steam, it has Steam, then Uplay, then Denuvo, and then on top of that, VN Protect.
Yeah.
So VN Protect is a special version of DRM that protects the DRM. So it's like DRM for DRM, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Denuvo, and in addition to like what service platforms it's on. Because of this, there are a lot of reports of it tanking FPS, maxing out CPU load, blue screening people's computers. Like it is seriously like probably one of the worst implementations of DRM in a long time.
You see, here's the thing. For some games, I do feel like Denuvo is like really, really bad and will fuck things up. I feel like Doom did Denuvo well because it started out with Denuvo, then got rid of Denuvo.
Well, most things that use Denuvo do because you have to. Denuvo is like, for those of you who don't know, Denuvo is a DRM platform that is constantly encrypting and decrypting, which takes CPU load. Yeah, and that's why it's as difficult as it is to crack. It's becoming less and less relevant now. But the reason why is because it's constantly encrypting and decrypting itself, and so for every game, it kind of changes how it does that. So Denuvo takes a lot of resources, first of all, which annoys people. But if the game is already not well optimized, and a lot of PC games in general aren't well optimized because they're often ports, it leads to even choppier frame rates. And Denuvo has a bad rep, but Denuvo, on the developer side, you have to pay a subscription fee to it, basically. So as long as it is protecting your game, there's a reason to continue paying for Denuvo. But as soon as it gets cracked, there's no reason to keep Denuvo anymore. So they might as well pull it off anyway and stop paying Denuvo to have it on there. And I think maybe the reason why Ubisoft opted to go this route with VN Protect and Denuvo is because I think it was Wolfenstein, the new one, the Last Colossus,
the new Colossus.
The new Colossus. That one was cracked before it came out.
Yeah,
which is the first time that's happened for Denuvo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
That's the first time it's happened for Denuvo. It was cracked before it came out.
Like 12 hours or something.
Yeah.
Which is still like
which was Resident Evil 7.
Was it what?
Resident Evil? It was Resident
Which
Evil
is
7.
still like opening day at least.
Yeah.
A little bit of more sales.
Well, and here's the thing. The reason that a lot of and because like people might not know this, the reason that a lot of people still do use Denuvo is when Denuvo came out, it was basically uncrackable. It was ridiculous. There was I think there was a Chinese group that were able to like bypass it, but the game didn't even run very well. So it was like you might as well just buy the game anyway. Denuvo was for pirates kind of annoying, and a lot of pirates didn't like it, but I mean it did its job well. Right?
Yeah.
kept games.
It's
from
like if
getting
it
cracked.
works,
to the extent
then
that
it's
when
a
it
good
first
example.
came out,
Yeah.
to the extent that when it first came out, it had a timer on its website that would time
it was
long
something like
games were protected.
months. Since it's been,
Oh no! I think it was like a year.
Yeah.
I could. It
Well,
was
it
like
was
it was longer than basically any.
But to be fair, the first
DRM
game that
for a
used it
while.
was like a FIFA game that nobody really cared about or something. Not even a FIFA game, like an off-brand soccer game.
Oh no! Pirates go crazy for FIFA games. They're always almost the most pirated things. I don't know.
No, FIFA is one of the most popular games in the world.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
of course, that one's going to be on the top of the
It's
list.
basically Madden for everywhere that isn't America.
I see.
Right, and parts of America too. So
yeah, parts of America too. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Denuvo, it's becoming less and less effective, and it's more. It hurts performance more than other DRM schemes or whatever. But the problem is the companies want to protect their day one sales because that's when a majority, like the first week, is when a majority of games make their money.
Yeah.
But like Denuvo is becoming less and less effective, so what we're probably going to see next is something even more invasive.
And here's the thing,
or we're gonna do this where we put VN Protect on top of Denuvo, and really the only people who are gonna be screwed over in this situation are the people
buying it.
Yeah.
So
that's it. That's the
and not only that, one of Denuvo's been getting a lot of flack even more recently, not only just for the FPS tanking stuff, but for stuff like we talked about in a previous podcast, Sega's whole debacle with Sonic Mania. They implemented Denuvo, and well, they said that they were going to be doing bug fixes and that it wasn't gonna, But it turns out they were just spending all that time implementing Denuvo, and everyone was pissed because it was going to tank performance on a game that was supposed to be about fast.
Going fast.
And of course, it was cracked in like less time than it took to implement Denuvo.
Yeah, it was like a week.
By like a week.
Yeah. But I think they still haven't removed Denuvo from Sonic, strangely.
Which is weird because there has been nothing but outcry on the PC gamer scene about, hey, remove this shit from Sonic Mania, we don't want it.
Pointless. Yeah. It really is pointless. If it's cracked, there's no reason, and they're losing money on it.
Yeah.
Because they're paying for it. That subscription fee thing, like I knew about before today, but I didn't know about it until recently. Like it was just, I don't know.
It's a little silly.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish that, like, I understand that companies want to protect their games, but it sucks that the way that they're going about it is by punishing the people buying it.
Yeah. I mean, and Denuvo worked. It really did, but it doesn't work that good anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens in that space.
Yeah.
Moving on. A PlayStation bundle, or the VR bundle, or whatever, is going to come out with Skyrim coming out soon.
Neat.
So
we programmed Skyrim onto this VR headset.
What keeps on disconnecting and reconnecting? Because it's like over and over.
I told him just.
It's legitimately just I'm leaving my phone completely stationary and it's just yelling at me. All right, it's on the floor now. I guess that works.
Anyway, yeah. So I think it's a really good idea to kind of push VR with Skyrim. Because as much as you want to give Todd Howard shit for re-releasing the same game on every platform imaginable, if there's any game that can really sell VR, it'd be Skyrim. And so this is both good for VR as a platform, because it puts it in the hands of more people, and it's good for Skyrim and Todd Howard because he continues making money on the same game, I guess.
Yeah. I fear not the man who has released 1 million games one time, but the man who has released one game 1 million times.
All right, John Carmack and Doom.
Okay, fair.
Doom piano. Now Doom runs on your fridge.
But actually, you think about it, Doom is one of the most well-known, influential games of all time because it's been released on everything. Yeah. Half-Life 2 is released on like everything too.
Controller plugged into a wall socket.
So yeah, I think that's really cool that they're pushing PlayStation VR with the Skyrim. A lot of people have been saying
any game like Elder Scrolls is meant, whether you agree with the thought or not, but Elder Scrolls is meant to be a really immersive experience, and releasing Elder Scrolls on like VR and stuff like that is.
I think it's one of the things that everybody's been kind of wanting.
Yeah.
So for Sony to kind of nail down an exclusive like this probably really helps the adoption rate of VR in general. Which
like even when like Oblivion came out, people were talking in the recess schoolyard saying, "Man, wouldn't it be cool if you had like this big room where you could just be in Oblivion?"
Yeah, and people have done that. Like they've gotten like the treadmill things, and they put up like big like surround screens and stuff. They've done stuff like that. So you know,
and it's weird. Like what was the thought that I had? It sort of disappeared. It almost feels like Sony has been sort of almost pushing VR to the side. They haven't really been doing
that's
a lot
the
of
thing.
VR,
a lot of people have been concerned because there hasn't been too much talk about PlayStation VR lately until like really recently with this Paris conference. They talked about a bunch of new VR games. The Skyrim VR bundle was just announced. I think that maybe they were just like the first push happened and then they were waiting for more games so they could announce a lot of games at once. Like I that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's cool, I guess. Next up, Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs 1 is going to be free for the next week. I think you can do it now, even though it's supposed to start tomorrow, but I think you can go on now. And
tomorrow as in November 7th. By the time this is watched on YouTube, this may either be over.
I was actually just gonna give just gonna give the dates. So it starts God, where I know I saw the dates for it before. Well, I think it's okay, so it's tomorrow the 7th, and I think it goes to like the 16th or something. It's like next week. Oh, okay. November 7th through the 13th. For the PC version of the game. So if you go onto Uplay, you can download Watch Dogs 1 for free. Watch Dogs 1 was not the best game. It wasn't the worst game.
It was pretty bad. I thought it wasn't super.
It had good things and it had bad things. Like I thought the AI was very good in it. And at least initially, like driving around and like activating things while driving and like blowing people up with like pipelines and stuff. That stuff was cool. But I think that the problem with it was the story. Like the story dragged it down. And the setting. Chicago is a very like gray and boring city. No offense to people who live in Chicago, but from a video game standpoint, it's very lifeless. And
wait, an action-packed trip to Detroit.
And the main character was basically a sociopath who had no redeeming qualities, and you didn't like him basically from the very beginning of the game. And he never got better. In fact, he gets worse because he's like the
option of being a good guy or a bad guy. You were just always a dickhole in the cutscenes.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between being a good guy and being a bad guy, even outside of the game, was like whether or not you crippled someone or killed them. Like, I don't know. Like, the game is very, like, it really suffered from, what's that phrase, gameplay story dissonance or whatever?
Yeah.
It just, the tone of the game, I mean, in a way, the tone of the game did match the, story in that both were, like, gray, lifeless, and kind of dead. That being said, the actual gameplay is not bad.
Right.
By no means.
I felt like the driving stuff was really kind of didn't feel very good.
Yeah, it was very samey. Like a lot of it was very Ubisoft. That being said, for free, it's not a terrible waste of your time.
Yeah. I suppose like if it's free, you could pick it up and see for yourself.
Yeah, you can try it. Yeah.
Because I mean, you're not gonna lose anything except for like a little bit of time where you go, this sucks. I don't.
And definitely, Watch Dogs 2 was a better game wholesale. Like Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 was worth your time. That's kind of the difference. Like, the story was fun. The gameplay was very well expanded. They actually had dogs in Watch Dogs 2 that you could walk up and pet.
Oh, excellent. Could you watch them?
I'm sure you could watch them. You could take selfies with things, which was like oddly amusing. The tone of the game was like crazy and ridiculous, and the stuff you did was just silly. Like, Watch Dogs 2 is just a much better game overall.
So it was like the difference between Saints Row 1 and 2, where they just eventually decided, okay.
I would say between Saints Row 2 and 3. Saints Row 2 was a traditional gangster story. Watch Dogs, Saints Row 3 was, or the third, was about being crazy and ridiculous and funny, and like that's kind of the like it's actually very jarring if you play them right after another, but Watch Dogs 2 is very much better. Another thing I will say about Watch Dogs 1, it is one of like the 2 games I can count on one hand that has made me motion sick. I don't know what it is, but like the way he runs or like the bobbing when he runs, something. Maybe they restrict your FOV when he runs, I don't know. But the more I play the game, the more it makes me motion sick, and I really don't get motion sick easy. So keep that in mind, I guess. But it's a free game. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like one of the problems with Watch Dogs 1 was that it came out, I think, like a little bit after, maybe a couple of months after Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. And it's like, Grand Theft Auto 5 is just such a fucking great game.
Well,
and Watch Dogs 2 just looks so little
also,
in comparison.
Well, actually, I think it came out after on consoles, but before on PC. I think is how that happened.
Yeah.
So it happened in that window. And there was a lot of controversy over them downgrading the graphics, which is like a separate...
during the E3 presentation. There were like mods you could download that made it look a little bit better. But yeah, it sold itself on its graphics. That was the thing that a lot of people
it was like the thing that kind of started the E3 bullshit.
Yeah.
People
for sure
talk about so much.
Yeah, it was...
Because now, like, every game does it. You just kind of expect that it's not going to look as good as it did at E3.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say every game does it, but, like, a lot of them do.
Yeah.
I think the only other one to really get into the same kind of controversy was, Witcher 3?
Yeah,
and that was very minor. People like wanted to say the same thing about it that Watch Dogs, but I think people were like
not even
blowing it out of proportion because they wanted to have another Watch Dogs.
Like at the E3 Watch Dogs presentation, they were like, "Watch this! Your character reaches forward and pulls that curtain aside, and then you just walk through a static JPEG of a curtain in the real game."
Well, it wasn't that bad, but
like, the lighting.
Slightly different.
The lighting was better a lot in Watch Dogs 1. Like things like
in Witcher.
In
Witcher, people were like, the lighting is so downgraded. No,
it's not. It's like
slightly worse. I mean, it is a little worse.
There's like a couple more shadows.
I think what was noticeable about Witcher 3 like downgrading for me was like the at a distance texture scaling.
Right.
It was a little bit more like blurry and stuff, and noticeably like not as good from a distance in Witcher 3. But other than that, it's like I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really think separates Watch Dogs and Witcher 3, especially on this, is that Witcher 3 is generally considered a very, very, very good game.
Yeah, and ultimately, if Watch Dogs 1 was a very good game, regardless of how it looked, people would have would have forgotten about it and given it the benefit of the doubt. But because it was also not really well received either, it just really cemented its history as being that game that lied at E3. So
and I feel like Grand Theft Auto 5, when it came out on the PC and was like re-released on the next gen consoles, it looked as good as Watch Dogs did at E3. It was beautiful. I love Grand Theft Auto 5.
I feel like Watch Dogs 1 would have been better as a sequel to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
They should just have given you a stealth kill knife, and then it would have been the same.
Yeah.
And maybe given you a little bit more parkour options, which they kind of do in Watch Dogs, but not really. Okay, I want to move on, though.
Okay.
So the Injustice 2 PC's open beta has started.
Pretty cool.
And that runs.
I don't like fighting games.
Same.
I tried Injustice 1.
Yeah, I don't really like fighting games either, but right now,
maybe this will be cool, and it was the same thing.
Well, some people like it for the story and stuff. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But if you do like fighting games, all the stages and DLC characters up to Raiden in one-on-one multiplayer is available from now until November 10th. Nice. So you have until November 10th to try it out.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Also, Hellboy's going to be in it.
And then it'll launch on November 14th. It'll launch on November 14th, which also happens to be Hellboy Day.
Yeah.
I did not know that Hellboy was going to be in it.
Hellboy's going to be in it.
Raiden is going to be in it, too, which is funny. From Mortal Kombat.
From Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Yeah. That I feel like I expected more than I expected Hellboy to be in it.
Well,
also I think
crossovers with like Dark Horse and stuff.
Yeah, but oh god, I want to play it now. I don't like fighting games.
Wasn't Jason already?
Thing that happens with
was
every
Jason? No, Jason
game.
Was in Mortal Kombat. That's right.
Yeah.
Same thing that happens with every fighting game. I'm like, no, I don't like fighting games. I shouldn't play it. It was just pointless. I'm not gonna get good at it. I'm not good at it. I don't know how to learn to do it. And then I find out, ooh, Hellboy's in it. I'm gonna play it. And then it's just the same thing.
Oh, actually, Wingy says that, or Ponkapa in the chat says they've confirmed that Assassin's Creed Origins is in the same universe with Watch Dogs, which connects those two series, which actually is not surprising. He also says Freddy Krueger is also in Mortal Kombat X2.
Yeah.
Which I knew about.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the next thing on the ballot?
The next thing on the docket. Torchlight developer Runic Games has been closed by Perfect World.
They just released a new game. It probably didn't sell well. I swear, I don't remember what the game was called.
It's called...
And that's why it was... Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's why, but it was called, Hob?
Yeah.
H-O-B.
Like that.
Yeah. I didn't even know that Perfect World Entertainment owned Runic Games.
They own a lot of shit. They actually just closed Gigantic's publisher too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I remember playing Perfect World back when.
Yeah, me too. The thing is, Perfect World was so popular in China that they got so much money from that stuff that they basically just turned into a regular publisher here. They also own Secret World.
Yeah.
They own a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah.
And they said that it was not like it was just because the game was finished. It had nothing to do with like apparently there wasn't any animosity towards the developers or anything. They just wanted to close the studio after this game came out is what they said.
Okay.
Basically. But that basically means they laid off all of Runic Games because they closed the studio.
Sucks.
So they're keeping the properties of Torchlight and Gigantic like in the Perfect World, like so they still own those properties, but
I mean
the actual developers are kind of free agents again.
Else, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder what they're gonna do next. Because like the last thing I remember them doing was like Hellgate London, then they moved on to like some other stuff, and then Torchlight, and then Torchlight 2, and then this
Hob.
new game. Yeah, and then Hob. So I wonder where they're gonna go from here.
I'm pretty sure you guys have called it Hob, Cobb, and Knob. What is the name of the game?
it's Hob.
Hob with an H.
I actually have said Hob every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of what we're talking about next has to do with BlizzCon.
Oh boy.
And then we have a few other things after that too.
As far as video games go.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna change this to BlizzCon because
he's excited about BlizzCon.
I don't know why. Not like it's this huge developer that releases all sorts of stuff.
Did they do anything Destiny related at BlizzCon?
No, that's Activision.
Oh, right,
technically,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and actually, Destiny released their information about their DLC at Sony's Paris event. So.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't talk about that because it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So Overwatch released a new short about Reinhardt.
Honor and glory. I was gonna stand up for that. It's called Honor and Glory, and my God, I love it.
So
I love it.
There's a scene in this short that where Reinhardt goes and abandons all of the people to go fight someone else. So he was running off to fight someone else, and I was like, I know how those soldiers feel. That's how I feel when Dalsson goes and runs off all the time.
It was literally the whole thing was just talking about Reinhardt players. Like I just fucking Reinhardt, get back to your team. They're just slowing me down. Besides, they're fine. And it pans over to them, and they're like, "Where's Reinhardt? Oh my god!"
Speaking of that, there was a point in time where Jeff Kaplan did throw some shade at everyone.
I felt like personally attacked watching that short, and it was so good.
There was a point in time where Jeff Kaplan attacked everyone. He was talking about talking about the new map, which we'll get to later. He was like, it's a combination capture point and payload map. I know a lot of you don't know what a payload is, so just ask your nearest Zenyatta main and he'll tell you.
The funny thing is, like, I think it just happened again in the Overwatch World Cup or whatever. I think it was China. No one on the Chinese team was on the capture point, and they lost the game because everybody was on China's team was all killing people.
I did see that.
They lost that.
It was like
match
one Reaper on the. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I think the last person on it was Mercy, but she backed off because other people left the point, and she was the only one there.
Yeah, Thel and I were like trading off on Overwatch earlier, like this morning or yesterday or something. It was funny. Basically, the exact same thing happened. There were like 8 people duking it out on the payload. I was Reinhardt jumping up and down on the payload and swinging the hammer. And then the rest of my team backed off, and their team followed them, and I just pushed the payload right the rest of the way in. I was like, oh, okay. I love it when that happens because people get so kill hungry because it's a shooter.
Yeah. Anyway, the next thing is they announced a new character for Overwatch named Moira.
Yeah, a new character that reminded everyone that the lore for Overwatch is 2 puzzles that they poured out, removed some of the pieces and tried to make them fit, and then also added like a third puzzle and tried to make these pieces fit too.
So what? Yeah, I've actually heard a lot about this. Why does she contradict lore? I don't understand.
Because Mercy was the one who made Reaper the thing that Reaper is.
Oh.
Mercy was also the one that did that.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's weird, but
sort of retcon that.
Genji, not Soldier 76. Soldier 76 never died.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He faked his own death.
Okay, he faked his own death, like Anna. Okay,
and came back to. He was a super soldier because of Mercy, but he did not die.
Yeah.
She didn't do that because he died. She rebuilt Genji from scratch. She also did not,
obviously not from scratch,
explicitly make Reaper what he is.
Also,
that was never
also, I remember her saying something to him like, "What happened to you?" or something like that. So, like,
well, here's the thing. She said, "What happened to you?" implicitly referring to all of the edgy stuff that he was doing. And then he said, "You tell me, Doc," referring to all of the medical things that happened. They decided that they needed to release a new healer character,
but I feel like that doesn't necessarily. I feel like that
doesn't
necessarily confirm anything. So,
but that is like the one line in the game that could imply that, and it doesn't. Like,
it doesn't.
You tell me, Doc.
Mean
you're a doctor. You should know about bodies.
But my problem is they had no plan for this at all, and the thing that they previously had to fit in this was just something.
I mean, you don't know that. What you're kind of going off of what was the general assumed theory of it, not that, but they didn't explicitly say that. So
this character did appear once before. It was around the time that they released Doomfist, which is probably around the time that they pushed their development. The thing is, I'm pretty sure what they did is they needed a new healer. They wanted to fit her into the Overwatch lore. So they just made some shit up. And that's the problem with Overwatch's lore, is they're just making shit up as they go and have like this loose, barely if at all connected back.
One, I don't necessarily think that's a criticism. That's fine to me. Two, I don't think that necessarily that means that they're making shit up on the fly. Like
in a game that they continually develop and bring new characters, of course they're going to have to.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Up.
I feel like they should go forward rather than backwards. They're talking about this lady who was like a big member of Overwatch and one of the most prominent scientists, but you never heard of her because she was always underground.
Yeah, but we don't know we don't know shit about
like
Overwatch. Like that's the thing.
Well,
we just don't know enough about
really
it.
Don't, but that's because they don't have anything fucking written for it. They're just
like, okay, for instance, in that same cutscene, in that same video, Genji was standing there with the other members of Blackwatch, and I'm like, she was a member of Blackwatch? Like, I didn't even know that Genji was. So, like, I don't think that... I don't think that they're necessarily just making shit up on the fly. There could be some planning.
I definitely think they're making shit up on the fly, just because of the fact that, like, Overwatch is, again, a combination of Titan and the movie that they were going. It's these two worlds. That
they took the resources. They took the assets from Titan. That doesn't necessarily mean they're keeping any of the story. Like you can't take that as being like, oh, this is obviously what they were doing. Like behind the scenes, they probably do have some sort of outline.
They are taking the story from Titan. Well, not the story. If I remember right, it was like Titan was going to take place like during the Omnic Crisis, and the Omnic Crisis was going to be something completely different. It was a very
story. We don't know anything about the story of Titan.
Yeah, well,
again, didn't come out, so it's like,
yeah.
How can you necessarily say that that's 100% what they're doing
during the development? And again, like then there was the other movie that they took a bunch of stuff from that too, and then just meshed it into the writing.
I don't know. I think that I do agree that it is kind of messy, but I don't necessarily think that means for sure that they don't have a plan. Like.
I don't think that they have a plan at all.
I don't.
It doesn't like.
There's certain things that they've been.
Overwatch really rings of a plan. They're just doing stuff. Like everything does have to do with like the gameplay, and like that works really fine in like something with League of Legends, where the lore is like there are a bunch of these different worlds, and like the gameplay is a thing. Like the summoner is a character within the lore that uses all of these characters from all of these different worlds, and they can just build on that. And it also works in TF2 where
I feel like the lore for League of Legends is even more desperate from the plot of the game, actually. Yes, that is kind of the general conceit, but then you're constantly talking about weird inner
like things that happen outside of Summoner.
Like when they introduced Jarvan, like Jarvan showed up as like the leader of Demacia, and it was like a big confusing thing about how he is against other certain characters, but that seems so unconnected from anyone summoning anyone. So I don't know. Like I would I would agree even less that League of Legends knows what they're doing, because they've 100% retconned shit over and over again. The same things over and over again. So
right. Well, and here's the thing. In League of Legends, like the gameplay connects to the actual story. In Overwatch, the gameplay isn't like a part of the lore at all. There is nothing in the gameplay that is at all canon in any way, shape, or form, which is
except for the little event.
Oh yeah, except for the event. Yeah. The Omnic Crisis. Yeah, and it's like Junkenstein's Revenge. That's fine. Mayball. That's fine. That could be like a story that Reinhardt tells his Torbjorn's kids, and Mayball is just like some fun bullshit that's like May cloners if you wanted to even fit it in the lore, and you don't even need to have to. Yeah. But like the actual main game, like it's implied that these are all missions, but they don't really.
I don't think so. I think the gameplay of Overwatch is completely unconnected from the story. I think they're not actually.
That is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that they don't have a plan, though. I think that they have an outline of what they want to talk about in the progressing story, and they're kind of spoon feeding us bits and pieces over time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have any idea. Doomfist they introduced originally as like talking about his glove and whatever. Like
Doomfist is another good thing, because like in the New Bonnie Museum there was that the big mural, and the whole the exhibition that was happening at the New Bonnie Museum was about Doomfist. There were 3 Doomfists. There was the original one, which is the one that we have in the game. There was another one which was apparently like a good guy of some sort, and then there was the third one who was mysterious and we don't know about him. Thought the third one was going to be the playable character, but no, it was just that this one broke out. Yeah, he just broke.
Where did you get that information that there were 3 Doomfists?
Did you not fucking play? It was in New Bonnie with the map, straight up. It was there. It was on the museum wall. It was up in like the
there were 3 Doomfists.
Yeah. Okay. So when you spawn, in the New Bonnie Museum, if you look up and to the right or to the left, there is a mural that talks about that. Straight up, it's like one of the most obvious thing, and that's why people were really excited for Doomfist for the longest time, because it was right there. Like, there was all that stuff about Sombra that was like.
But I mean,
really
regardless,
like
they obviously had some idea for what they wanted to do with Doomfist. Like, and
it
sounds like they maybe moved things forward faster because there was so much like desire for that character to be added. But I feel like sure they don't have stuff nailed down 100%, but they have an outline of what they want to do with the story, and like every short that they've added has, other than maybe the Junkrat one, like has kind of furthered the idea of Overwatch being put back together and like that sort of thing happening. So I don't completely agree that they have no plan.
Really moved forward in any way, shape, or form since like the game was released like a year ago. It's kind of.
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't think it's completely. It has moved forward a little bit, but I don't think it's. I agree that they are really taking their time with it, and I don't know, but
I
feel like
it's
Effie and Orisa, right?
Well, I actually really like Effie and Orisa because that's sort of moving forward. That's like, okay, we have this character who was doing this thing, and this is a reaction to that. Like, this is just some girl who decided to
a reaction to Doomfist. They didn't have any plan for him whatsoever. They had nothing written. They just made up Doomfist as they went along.
No, they definitely had a plan for Doomfist. They had a plan for Sombra, and a plan for Anna, and I think there's another person that they're Athena. They have a plan for Athena, but like a lot of these characters, they're just putting them out there. Like, and it's fine with that.
The only character that excludes is Moira. So
I feel like if anything, they didn't have a plan for Sombra. Sombra was one that
plan. They straight up did.
Actually, no, I would agree with Dalsson. Like they kind of did that. They did that. What are those called?
When the game was first released, there was a bunch of Sombra stuff in the Mexico map. What was it called?
No, there was a bunch of.
They did the ARG for
the gang called the Muertos or whatever.
No. It was in a newspaper. You could go and find it, and it talked about Sombra. And then there was like a really rare Reaper line where he said, "Where is Sombra when you need him?" Before she came out, and this was before the thing. The thing.
Well, yeah. So that only leaves this new character Moira as the only one who wasn't hinted at.
Yeah. And again, that is true, but like all of these characters are still really, really sort of unconnected. Well, they're all connected by like Overwatch and stuff, but it's just really spotty. The whole backstory and everything is just really spotty. And
like if you watch Winston's short, there's like 900 pictures that go by when he calls out to Overwatch. Like there's plenty of people that like we don't know anything about. Like if they released a new whatever. There's
main characters we don't really know that much about. Like Zarya showed up in a short once, and we don't really know much about her.
Yeah, all we know is she was a soldier, or she was a weightlifter, and then she became a soldier, and she hates Omnics.
But I think what's cool about this though is they do have a plan, and here's why. Okay. I think they do have a general idea of what they want to do, because every time they do release a short, it kind of reveals more about the world. Like they did that with Bastion. Bastion's story was like really kind of a flashback talking about the Omni Crisis. They did this with Reinhardt just recently, where they kind of revealed kind of like about the Crusaders and stuff that were like a German thing and why Reinhardt got into Overwatch. I feel like maybe I think a lot of it probably is made up kind of when like, you know, as a way to fit it into the story. But I think they do have a general outline and a general direction that they want to go. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because I feel like where could this go? Like, honestly, what I feel like, and this is the dumbest goddamn shit. You're gonna have to forgive me, this is the worst thing that they could do, but I feel like it would streamline it and explain everything, including the gameplay, if just aliens invaded. If just fucking aliens came out of the sky and everyone had to work together to fight them. Like, I feel like that would help. That would
give a reason for the gameplay.
Yeah, and it would give a reason for like Reaper.
But I don't think the gameplay needs to make sense though. Like
I don't know. I feel like in every other game it does, and even then it's like everything. It's
it doesn't. I want to say there is one thing that confuses me. When Eichenwald, the map, was released, the idea was that they were pushing that RAM in so that they could siege the castle and get the Reinhardt's master's old Crusader armor back, right? And that's why they released the skin at the same time. But in this new short with Reinhardt, he was just like standing there with Torbjorn's daughter as he was going back to Overwatch. So he could have just taken it then.
Yeah. Again,
but
like
the gameplay doesn't have.
I don't think the gameplay. I don't think you can cake any of the gameplay as like canon, except for that uprising thing.
I think Junkertown is the one that like could but most likely be canon. Junkrat's like, hey boys, let's go into the city now and we'll do the thing. Okay, why not?
I don't know. I almost feel like this is like a training simulator for all of the Overwatch characters or something. It has nothing to do with what they're actually.
Again, if it was that, that'd be fine. Then why are the Talon members there?
Let's talk about this theory we read.
This is fucking. This would explain everything.
Lore.
Anyway, can we move away from Overwatch lore?
No. We gotta do the theory,
that made absolutely no sense. No, let's please not. Let's move on because this is dumb. The reason why we started talking about this at all is because I brought up Moira and I have yet to read her abilities. Like,
okay.
She shoots piss and it heals people.
So
kind of.
So she has 4 abilities. Biotic Grasp, which is her left-hand attack, which shoots healing energy in front of her. And it looks like a yellow mist, so whatever, blah, blah, blah. And her right hand fires a long-range beam weapon that saps energy's health. It looks kind of Symmetra-y, which scares me.
Hang on. I watched a short video where a guy was talking about his impressions from playing her at BlizzCon. He doesn't know any of the damage numbers, obviously, because all he got to do was dick around with her for like 10 minutes in games that were nothing but her. But her beam, yes, it saps health at a steady rate, but it is apparently nowhere near as egregious as Symmetra.
Well, obviously, but I feel like that goes without saying because the way that Symmetra's ability works is kind of ridiculous. So
yeah,
I honestly, it makes more sense doing it this way because even if it locked on exactly like Symmetra's, if it does a constant rate of damage, that would be fine. The problem with Symmetra is that at the beginning it does no damage, and at the end it does a stupid amount of damage. So like, but the idea that like it all automatically locks on is kind of like whatever.
Yeah,
that was all I was saying about it.
Like, maybe she needs that, though, because, like, she's a healer, so she kind of needs a way to replenish her resourse. Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't need to automatically lock on, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her next ability is Biotic Orb, which she sends a sphere that bounces around, and she can choose between a Regeneration Orb that heals allies, or a Damage Orb that hurts enemies and has a decay effect. Okay. Other than that, so what she can do is she can.
Mean, like, slow?
No, I know. I think it just slowly. I think it does damage, but it slowly does less damage as it goes on.
Okay.
Maybe. Or a decay effect that deals damage. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
And then she has
Maybe
Fade, which is a.
DOT.
Yeah. Well, I guess. She has an ability called Fade, which is like a small teleport similar to Reaper's teleport, but faster and more like a blink.
Well,
so
from the way that it,
I'd say it's probably somewhere between Tracer's like blink and Reaper's teleport, but she's not vulnerable during it, and she turns invisible. So
I'm not 100% sure, but that guy who got to demo her at BlizzCon, it seemed that the way he implied it worked was you instantly blink out of existence, but you can move around really fast like Sombra, and then you reappear like a second later.
I think I watched the same video, and it sounded more like it was a direct targeted teleport, so...
Okay.
Sort of like Reaper's thing.
Right.
Well, not even like that. Like, I think it
but
it looks
like,
more the most similar to Tracer's, because I've seen a gameplay video of it, so...
Stop existing for a minute, though, so like you can use it to dodge stuff. Like, she doesn't just blink from one spot to another. She disappears, then reappears in a second.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there is like, because that same guy said something about invisibility, which was kind of a weird thought.
Yeah, that's what I see. That's why I.
But I don't think you move around during it. I think that I think it is like a blink, like a teleport. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We didn't actually get that much direct gameplay footage.
We didn't see first-person gameplay. So.
Yeah. And then her ultimate is Coalescence, which shoots a long-range beam that heals allies and damages enemies, and bypasses barriers. It looks like it does a lot of damage and heals for a lot, so that's kind of a cool thing.
It looks to me like she's a complete sitting duck. Like, it'll have the same
sort of thing.
Basically the same counter as Pharah. Like, accurate enemies that can snipe her out are gonna ruin her ult. And it lasts.
But it looks really long range though, so it's possible you could just fuck people up who are trying to shoot at you. I don't know. Other than maybe like Widowmaker if she's gets a headshot before you see her. But even then, I don't know. Like it looks really long ranged.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be this character in particular is going to be really good at breaking points.
Probably.
Like, or breaking chokes.
Yeah.
I'm interested where this character falls into the meta. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Right now, I think the meta is kind of stuck with Mercy being in every game because of how powerful she is right now.
Oh, they're changing Mercy again. They're giving her a cooldown on her thing. I think we talked about that last week.
Cooldown on her what?
Her revive.
Revive, right.
She already has
Well, not a cooldown.
They're making it so it doesn't refresh when she uses her ultimate. I don't think that'll help, honestly.
Again, also the cast time, which sort of lays her as a sitting duck,
like a Destiny revive, right? Where you have to stand still and
When did you hear this information? Because that seems
really you didn't hear about that?
No, because I heard something like that, but I didn't hear that aspect of it.
It was like last week, or I think it was before I
didn't hear anything about the cast time. I was hearing that it wasn't going to refresh anymore.
Yeah, I was hearing
there was definitely a cast time. Maybe they changed it. Hold on. You guys look it up.
I'll look it up.
You go ahead.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know where this will fit in the meta because right now I feel like even if they do remove, and I don't think the cast time matters. That's whatever. Like that's not gonna stop Mercy anyway. But I think even if they took it so her Valkyrie doesn't refresh or reduce the time limit, her cooldown, like I think that she's still going to be so powerful because it means that you have to kill 2 people for 1 person to count.
Yeah.
And I think as long as she has her ultimate on a 30-second cooldown, like at all, it's gonna be a problem. Like the thing about the whole Mercy changes is I feel like they were trying to do one thing and made a bigger problem with how they decided to fix it. So I don't know.
And just put her like deeper into the more meta.
Yeah.
So I think right now, I don't know how this character is gonna fit right now because right now it seems like you have to have Mercy and maybe one other healer. Usually one other healer in the like meta, but unless this character does a lot of attack damage, I just don't see her being used that much.
Yeah.
So unless her abilities are so influential and we just don't see it yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know how influential her abilities can really be unless she kills people. So
okay. Resurrect. Cast time increased from 0 seconds to 1.75 seconds. Mercy's movement speed is now reduced by 75% while casting. Can be interrupted when Mercy is knocked back, stunned, or hacked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but so I still think that's such a minor change, though.
I don't know. 1.75 seconds is like longer than most ultimates take to charge. You can kill somebody with a McCree ult in that time.
Well, and not only that, but
that's 2 seconds. That's 2 seconds. You click on someone for 2 seconds. That's not that.
Yeah, and another thing is, I don't think it said like damage like stops her. If it was just like any
damage
bullet,
does not stop her. Yeah,
it's like knockbacks and stuff. So I feel like that like I'm with you saying I don't feel like it's going to like stop her that much.
Might make Somber more powerful
because that doesn't. I feel like that still doesn't affect the problem with Mercy's new Resurrect. It's just that you have to kill 2 people for 1 person to count. Unless you kill Mercy first. And that'll never change until they take away her Resurrect.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not doing anything at all. It like Mercy's Resurrect before, like you kill somebody, they're back. That's it, period. Now at least there's counterplay options. If you're Farah, you can use a concussion blast immediately.
Or even like a regular rocket will knock her back.
Yeah, if you're Sombra, she starts channeling it, you can start hacking her
immediately,
a second and a half later.
Yeah.
I don't think that it'll make a difference. It just doesn't. It won't. Maybe there will be more counterplay, but it doesn't matter because it's still all that it'll really mean is that Mercy will be even less likely to go kill herself by trying to res Reinhardt, who's behind the team. That's the only difference. Because anybody who's in any reasonable position will not be affected. You see what I mean? Unless it's... As long as... It just means Mercy won't fly to someone in the middle of 4 people. Even if there was one other person there, she'll be able to res them and get away. That's not... I just don't see that changing much.
Yeah. And I do agree that it's going to have a lot
I feel like it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. It's something.
Taking her 6-man res away, it felt bad because there was no counterplay to it, and there was still no counterplay to it afterwards, but now there's
I don't think that makes it... No, because the issue is not that there's no counterplay or whatever. That's never been the issue with it. I think the issue with it now is she's too required. It means that every 30 seconds you're basically get 1 free death. So that means that in order to have a death count, you have to kill 2 people in that 30-second window, which is just too strong of an ability to not have on your team. Right. Whether there's counterplay or not, as long as people are sort of where they should be, it won't make a difference. And the difference with Mercy's big res was there was constant decision about when to use it, because even when it was at a decently short cooldown of 60 to 70 seconds, you didn't want to waste it then and not have it, whereas a 30-second res means so much less. It's something you can just give up easier, and it's the kind of ability that you want to use literally every time you can. There's no unless the person is really out of position or it's someone you would rather res someone else instead of them, there's pretty much no reason to not use your res on someone. People want, when they made these changes, they were suggesting that they would give Mercy more gameplay options, but it actually sort of reduced her gameplay options kind of a lot. So, because it made it so no-brainer. Yes, I should use it every time I can, basically.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. Maybe if maybe changing it so it doesn't refresh on Valkyrie will make it so you might want to save it more often, but even then,
it still refreshes on Valkyrie.
Yeah.
What
also, it doesn't have a cast time on Valkyrie too, so...
Yeah. Now, instead of it lowering its cooldown to 10 seconds, when you activate Valkyrie, you get 2 charges of it, period. Or you get an extra charge of it. So if it's used, you get 1 free charge. If it's unused, you can use it twice during Valkyrie.
Okay. And that's a little bit better than it was.
It is a little bit better, but yeah.
But I just don't see it... I just really don't see it fixing the problem. And this is all PTR changes, and I don't think that's how the PTR changes were the last time I heard about it. So they might be still trying to fix it, because that kind of
change the timer change was November 1st, so it was definitely after we talked about it last week.
So I think that they've just kind of shot themselves in the foot, and this is kind of what I was saying the whole time. They made her res too powerful, and in some ways they made her ultimate less powerful. So I don't know. Mercy is a problem for them right now. They need to figure something out. Either way, because right now she's too required.
I'm still hopeful, because you were saying you have to kill Mercy first, or else your kills don't count. It's not necessarily true. If you kill somebody,
no, you have to kill 2 people, and your kills don't count unless one of them is Mercy.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But with the timer on it, you don't necessarily... Mercy doesn't have to die first. Before she could sacrifice herself, get the other person in, and that other person might be able to hold longer than...
If you're Mercy, you shouldn't do that. You should not sacrifice yourself. at any point.
No. Yeah, but even if like you sat there focused fire on Mercy, she could still get her res off. Now, if you're focusing fire on her, she probably can't get her res off, even if you kill somebody else first. Especially somebody like Junkrat or Pharah who knocks her around. Like, if there's a Pharah on the enemy team, Mercy flat out won't be able to res somebody.
Well,
because it's affected by knockbacks.
Yeah, concussion grade, which is on a longer cooldown than.
Well, Pharah's basic rocket. Well, I guess it depends on if her basic rocket knock around. It's very minor, so it might not.
Yeah, again, it's 2 seconds is not very long.
It is long enough that somebody could kill Mercy. Like a soldier firing at Mercy for 2 seconds.
Well, sure, but that's always been Mercy's thing. Like, she kind of has to stand relatively, like, not even still, because she still can move. It makes her slightly easier to hit, but, like, still, there are few situations where you would be so out of position that you are not safe to res someone for 2 seconds.
Right.
So, unless the person is out of position, which you shouldn't be going to dashing over to res them anyway, there's not, it's not that much different. I don't think, because if you kill Reinhardt, for instance, on the point, and he was like the only one there, then you sort of watch Reinhardt's body, and when Mercy comes, you shoot at her. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it reduces the chance of saving, like the point or something.
Like in the middle of a skirmish, even.
Well, no, I feel like you're safer in the middle of a skirmish. If there are multiple people there, then it doesn't matter that people are trying to target Mercy for 2 seconds. You'll have enough people in the way to get it off. But it just means that you can't dash and res that one person who's alive without Valkyrie now. So,
right.
And now it's like that's a good time to save Valkyrie for. Because if Valkyrie makes it so that there's no cast time, that's when you would use it now. But I mean, in a way, you would kind of use it then anyway, right? So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I don't think that fixes the problem. That might help, but I think it ultimately doesn't fix the problem of every 30 seconds you're going to get one extra person. So
if you can survive it, which you'll still more than likely be able to, but not 100% of the time. It's not a guarantee. Is like the.
Well, it's never a guarantee though.
Yeah.
Because you could res someone and then die while resing them, and then the person that you get up is by himself and just gets killed again. So like, I don't know. It just means I think if anything, the timer decentivizes Mercy from being stupid.
Yeah.
So. It has less to do with healing other people and more about not letting her kill herself as easy. I don't know.
Is that your cat?
Yeah, he wants outside.
Meowing? Okay.
Let's talk about the new hybrid map, Blizzard World.
Yeah. I actually am looking forward to this map. I think it looks really cool.
I didn't look at it. It looks neat, but why Blizzard World? Is it just like an event thing? Is it just
no,
like
it's not an event thing. It's just because of Blizzard.
Yeah.
Oh,
you want to talk about disconnected from the lore.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Actually, this could fit in universe.
Yeah, fair
Blizzard
enough.
is a company that exists in the Overwatch universe, and they're so big that they have a theme park.
And a movie theater.
And
like,
Talon is attacking the theme park.
And
or defending the theme park.
They actively have like a movie studio in Hollywood.
That's true.
So yeah.
That's funny.
And Hearthstone exists in universe.
That's true. Hearthstone does exist. Blizzard is a real company in the Overwatch universe. Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh, they're also releasing a handful of new skins, including
Oh yeah, which are great.
Including young Reinhardt, right?
Oops.
Is it young Reinhardt or is it just his old armor?
I think it's just his old armor. I don't think it's young Reinhardt.
No, it's young Reinhardt. It's young. It's Crusader Reinhardt.
Okay. Does he have his helmet off? That's my question.
Yes, he is young Reinhardt. From that,
that might be the only thing that I will use other than the aside from the Eichenwald.
I think he looks. I know that people were saying that he looks hot, but I think he looks ugly. I think he looks better as an old guy. I don't know.
I don't think he looks hot. I think he looks cool. I like the way he looks.
I think he looks better as an old guy. I don't know.
If we're going to talk about hot, I think we need to talk about Zarya's new Sonya skin.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I needed to say about that.
I do like that they're finally doing crossover skins. I always found those really cool.
Yeah.
One of them is Roadhog Butcher.
Yeah, which I also would like.
There's a World of Warcraft one for Torbjorn.
He's just a dwarf.
Yeah, basically.
Which is funny because he's already a dwarf.
And they're adding those ones to the normal loot box rotation, so they're not going to be they're not going to be a limited thing. They're just going to be added to the normal skin,
which
rotation,
is good.
so.
I'm glad.
Yeah, agreed.
They don't add enough just regular ass new skins.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. They announced the new World of Warcraft expansion, Battle for Azeroth.
Yep.
That looks pretty neat. I like the multitude of new races. Like,
yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they're gonna add all those. Well, new.
Yeah, they're new races.
Yeah.
Like, for example, they have Tauren, but from High Mountain.
Dwarves,
Draenei, but from the homeworld.
Dwarves, but gray.
Dark Iron Dwarves are the coolest thing.
Yeah. Obviously, like, Dark Iron Dwarves. These guys have been around since Vanilla WoW, and it's cool that they're going to be in the thing.
Yeah, you can actually play as them.
Elves, but goth, which I mean, I'm excited for.
Yeah. So that's
it.
And the night, I actually played Legion. I think the Nightborn are really cool elves. They're like super mana addicted elves, like even more mana addicted than the blood elves.
So there's Nightborn, Void elves, and
I'm not even actually sure what.
And then the Draenei are called Lightforged Draenei,
which I think they're like Draenei but more paladin-y.
Yes. I don't know much about World of Warcraft, just straight up. But yeah, so that's something that World of Warcraft players like.
Yeah,
more WoW expansions.
Less
World of Warcraft expansions. Because
I'm excited for this.
They're also announcing World of Warcraft Classic, which is going to be vanilla World of Warcraft.
Oh. What I'm hoping, what I'm hoping that they're going to do with this is they're not only going to release like World of Warcraft.
You're embarrassing me, Dalsson.
They're not only going to release WoW Classic, right? They're also later on they might release like Burning Crusade too, because Burning Crusade was a great expansion. I think most people who like classic WoW will sort of agree it's at Wrath of the Lich King that kind of is the cutoff point. Yeah.
Everything before that is like good from a classic WoW standpoint, and everything after that is like modern WoW. So at least that's what I've heard.
Well, I completely agree. A lot of people complained about Lich King. And that's when people say that it sort of started to go downhill, but what killed it for a lot of people was Cataclysm. And for me, I haven't played since No, I played once with Draenor. Warlords of Draenor, was that the one before that?
No,
I played for like 2 seconds.
No, it was Draenor.
It was Draenor, okay. So yeah, I played a little bit of Draenor, like I didn't get into any of the high level content because I dropped off it because Guild Wars still exists. But I played a lot of WoW back when it was Burning Crusade Classic and Lich King. I'd really
like to experience some of the old raids because honestly, I've been able to play them
like the old versions of the old raids.
Yeah, like back when they were actually raids. Because my new character, my character's 90 levels over leveled for older raids, so I can literally go in and one shot every single thing, and it's like cool to watch the story, but it would have been really cool to play it with
a bunch of people. You would think that by this point World of Warcraft would figure out some way to scale that or something.
Yeah.
Or just cap your stats at what the max stats would have been. But
there is something that some people do. People have like guilds that are specifically for doing older raids. Because you can level through PvP, eventually they added an option to turn off your XP gain in case you wanted to stay in like a certain PvP bracket.
Right, that makes sense.
For leveling. So you can turn off your PvP things and then max out your character or your experience once you've maxed out at like level 60.
Yeah.
And then do old raids with a particular guild. But now with classic servers,
you can just do that.
The possibility of Wrath and Burning Crusade servers.
No, they changed a lot of did they change a lot of the quests in early WoW too? Well, because they had to have because of Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah, okay, so that's kind of interesting. And yeah, like Wingy was saying in chat, people have been making private servers just to play like super vanilla WoW, and I think the one guys who got shut down talked to Blizzard about this like a year and a half ago.
And Blizzard
2 years
was like,
ago.
Absolutely not. We will never, ever, ever make legacy servers for World of Warcraft.
No, they didn't say that.
They
did.
Yeah.
They did before that, but then they had brought all of those people from that huge
thing,
and
because
they
realized
had a meeting with them, so obviously they were doing something.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, it was for a very long time. It was definitely Blizzard's like feeling that they were just never
they were like probably never is basically
like no, we're not gonna. And it's really weird because there was a huge demand for them. Like a lot of people dropped off WoW because they didn't like where it went, and if they could just go back, they would have fun again.
And ultimately, I think that's why this is changing. It's because there's a demand for it, and they
and
own the license, so they would rather do it themselves than have people basically pirate old WoW.
And honestly, vanilla servers are going to be more populated than private servers. Yeah. Guaranteed. Yeah. So that's going to be half the fun.
Yeah, because like official vanilla servers, because you don't have to go through any rigmarole. It's just you get the game, and there it is.
What if they made it free to play?
That would be cool and great, and I would love it.
I mean, WoW is free to play up until level 20. That's like a third of the content of classic WoW.
Yeah, but what if they just made all of the first 60 levels or whatever the old level cap was? What if they just made that free?
That would also be really cool.
Because it's not like Blizzard doesn't have the resources to do that. And they still have cash shop shit, so they I don't know.
Yeah. One of the things with the new expansion, they're bringing the level cap to 120, which is twice the amount that it was in vanilla. It's a good place to stop. Blizzard.
Actually, yeah, that would make sense. Well, now that would make sense to make like vanilla WoW up to level 60 free, and then you could port that character to post or modern if you wanted to.
If you wanted to, which a lot of people won't want to, but
but if you wanted to move on from the free to play content, like in this scenario, the free to play content into the modern WoW, then you could, right?
Well,
I don't know.
The problem with that is so many character changes from vanilla WoW to modern WoW. Like even specifically like hunters. Back at like I'm constantly hearing things from Dalsson about like classic hunters and how like they have changed so much. Back in the day, hunters could use like every weapon in the game. Like,
well, I guess that's true, but I guess that's true, but at the same time,
also there are a bunch of trees that like completely changed or rearranged or even removed. Like a bunch of skills that die.
Yeah, but I don't think that is necessarily a reason not to kind of do that anyway, though.
Yeah,
you could just like you would port your character over and then it'd be like, oh, my shit's completely different.
But here's the biggest reason not to do it that Flashton has just brought up in our chat. People are still going to pay for it, and Blizzard knows that.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
I know.
Probably why they're.
No, I know that they wouldn't, but I was just saying, what if?
What if it would be cool? We're living in a utopian.
And actually,
society.
for the first point, like Blizzard subscriptions have actually been going down for modern WoW. So I don't know. Might make sense to think about that anyway.
Yeah. Maybe they have like some cash shop items in vanilla, which that would turn a lot of people off though. But that would straight.
Well, I don't necessarily think so. If it was a cosmetic like skins.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
I feel like the part of the thing with classic WoW is that sort of elitism of having played classic WoW and it being just the same. And even if it was just cosmetic items, even if they went the full Path of Exile, everything is only cosmetic. This is the only thing you have to play for. People would still be bitching about it, like straight up.
I don't know. I feel like people have gotten more and more comfortable with that.
The only thing
Yeah.
The only thing they
feel a
have
little
is
bit,
level boosters, which, let's be honest, the end game of WoW is the content of WoW. So.
Yeah, definitely.
And then like, do they still have mounts, so you could sell mounts.
Which are all cosmetic.
Well, here's the thing. One of the things, another difference is you don't get your first mount till level 40. I remember back in the day, you had to wait your fucking ass off.
Unless
to get
you're
mount.
a druid.
Yeah, well, even then, the druid form doesn't go as fast as the mount. And the mount that you get as a druid, like that does go as fast as the mount, you still have to wait till level 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
My left ear hurts. Okay, so that's all of the BlizzCon stuff, or at least most of the stuff that I cared enough about mentioning.
Heroes of the Storm released Hanzo, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How did that?
Also, so yeah, just a quick roundup.
Does he like right click shoot arrows on people, or
he's not actually out yet? They're talking.
Like Hanzo
they're going to add him,
Yeah, I feel like Hanzo would be like the most easy to add into Heroes of the Storm. Just fucking make Ash, but Hanzo. Like
another thing is StarCraft 2 is going free to play.
Oh yeah,
the campaign of
Liberty. Yeah,
right, Wings of Liberty, the first campaign. Oh, I can't hear you. Do you mute yourself on accident? I still can't hear you. Hello? That's weird. Oh, something happened to my audio. No, I'm still... Is it you? Oh, it's on your end? Oh, no,
what?
Now I can hear you.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
Discord just froze. That was just Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Weird. Okay. So yeah, anyway, next on the video game news docket, is there anything at all?
Yeah, I was just gonna go through the I was just gonna go through the Heroes of the Storm thing, because actually I did have a slight thing about it. I'm just gonna go through it real fast though. So they're adding 2 new characters. Alex
Straza.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the dragon update.
One of the WoW dragons.
Yeah.
And they're adding a bunch of... So they're adding her, they're adding Hanzo, and she's gonna be a support of some kind. A ranged support.
Interesting. Okay.
They're adding Hanzo, they're adding... Oh, they're changing the camera to increase the FOV of it a little bit.
Oh, so it's less zoomed in?
I think so. Because that's actually one of the things I sort of complained about, especially for certain characters like Enchantress. Who's the Sprink one? The deer lady. Discord froze again. Well, I'm just gonna keep talking then. They're changing stealth mechanics a little bit, so stealth heroes are going to be easier to spot. Forts and keeps are going to reveal stealth heroes, and to offset the changes, they're going to buff basically all of the stealth characters. I'm not really going to go into that, but they're also removing ammunition from towers so that it will encourage aggressive play early. Regen glows can be collected by either side for a while. They're updating some of the mercenary camps. They're adding voice chat. And they're updating matchmaking to make it take into account individual performance as well as whether you just win or lose.
Wait. They're adding voice chat?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and just go uninstall Heroes of the Storm right now.
Just immediately.
Well, it works with Blizzard Voice, probably the same way that
Curse Voice.
No, Blizzard Voice.
Oh right, yeah. For they added to their client.
Yeah, so they're probably just gonna make it work how Overwatch does. So you can probably like opt in or opt out or whatever, depending on what you want to do.
Right. Okay. I think all games should have built-in voice chat anyway. Like it makes more sense to me actually. Like that was a joke.
Yeah.
MOBAs are pretty bad about it just because the community is always so toxic. And
yeah.
Also, there's no way to monitor when somebody's going to screech at you over voice as compared to screeching at you over text chat to ban them. So
yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, I guess it was 2 different programs. That's why only the audio froze. But
yeah.
So yeah, Heroes of the Storm is still a thing.
Yeah, some people play it.
Yeah.
Including us sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not for a while.
Anyway.
Well, you know how we go. You know how we do.
Yeah.
So, Nintendo revealed that Super Mario Odyssey is the fastest selling US Mario to date.
Good.
Unsurprisingly, considering
everyone loves it.
Literally,
it's probably one of the best rated Marios since the 64. So,
yeah.
And don't forget Galaxy. Galaxy 1 and 2 both knocked it out of the park.
It now is now surpassed Mario Galaxy 2. So,
yeah, wow.
And this one's only on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's even more impressive because there's a limited player base of that too.
Switches.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Mario Galaxy 2, it was on the Wii, so. So that's Mario. There's not much else to say about that.
It's good.
But talking a little bit more about the Switch, Nintendo released some of the stats about how people use their console. And the primary use of the console for most people is hybrid. They will play it docked and undocked.
All right.
The next highest percentage is people who play exclusively in handheld or tabletop mode, about 30%. And people who play almost exclusively in TV mode is about 20%. That's how I play it most. I don't really use it handheld, but I feel like I would more if I had games other than Zelda.
Yeah.
I feel like Zelda in particular, I really enjoy having that pretty game on my large TV, so I don't really enjoy playing it handheld. But I have played handheld on the plane.
It does run better in handheld mode somehow.
Yeah. Well, they did actually update Breath of the Wild in particular to run better in TV mode. There's still places where it chugs a little bit, but I think it chugs in both versions, so. Notably, the Forest of the Lost Woods or whatever.
Yeah. Always Lost Woods.
How do you primarily play it, Dalsson?
I don't. I would mostly play when I first got it. I played it mostly in handheld mode because I took it to work and played on my breaks like a fucking dork. But that's just mostly because when I'm sitting at home, I have my computer, so I don't play a lot on the TV over there.
Yeah.
People in chat are talking about Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is actually the second best-selling game on Switch right now. In terms of the games that people are playing, it's second behind Mario Odyssey right now,
which is great. Stardew Valley's a good game.
Yeah. They also this wasn't big news, so I didn't add it, but they also recently released or there's a sale on the Xbox and the PS4 right now for Stardew Valley. I think it's $15 right now.
I didn't even know it was on those consoles.
Well, it is.
I see.
And if you want it cheap on those consoles for some reason, it's on sale.
Yep.
Last I heard.
It'll probably be cheaper if you
by the time this is on YouTube. Maybe not anymore, but and then our last bit of gaming news. Fortnite, with the help of its what's it called? Battle Royale mode. It is now hit 20 million players, so it's starting to come up on PUBG a little bit, though not really.
Yeah.
The nice thing about this one is, I think Fortnite is going to be free to play when it comes out. And right now, it's you're buying into the early access.
Yeah.
So. And there's a little bit more emphasis on crafting, which is the major difference.
Yeah.
I haven't tried Fortnite. I'm this news actually makes me a little bit interested in trying it, maybe, but I don't know.
Just because there will actually be people to play.
Yeah, but my concern with this initially was just that, well, I already have PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and it's one of the most popular games ever right now.
Yeah.
So it seems odd to go after any competitor, but now that now that I'm starting to hear that this is taking on traction too, I'm a little bit more interested than I was previously.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's about it for gaming news.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to take a break now for just a little bit.
Yeah, just like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then so let's say, I don't know, 7:10.
Yeah. Sure.
And then we'll come
6:10 for most of the
world.
Oh,
civilized.
Yeah. Sorry, 6:10. My bad. Or is it 8:10? No,
it's 6:10 PST.
Right.
Yeah.
Saine is on Arizona time, which doesn't follow the known laws of physics.
Yeah. The known bullshit laws of
the known bullshit laws of Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
What?
Benjamin Franklin is the one who invented daylight savings time.
Well, no, I know that,
Well,
but I was just confused with how you said that sentence. But anyway, we will be back at 6:10.
Yep.
See you in a bit. Okay, and we're back.
Okay.
So for the last hour or so of the podcast, we're going to talk about movie news.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get through this stuff quick because I'm going to try to get through this stuff before now.
Train leaves in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay, so
yeah,
we'll try to...
way too late for me. All right, so first things first. Disney, Fox, Marvel, Netflix, Hulu streaming?
Here, I'll do this one since I...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, there's been a lot of talk, and actually right now, one of the, I think it's Bob Iger from Disney met with like owners of 20th Century Fox, and initially people were talking about or thinking that had to do with the X-Men,
right?
But actually, there's been talk about how it was actually for stuff like Futurama and other sitcoms and stuff like that. Because one of the things that Disney's trying to do right now is build a portfolio of TV shows to go with their movies for them to start their own streaming service. And actually there was talk about how they were not going to renew their deal with Netflix as soon as it expires because they want to have enough content to have their own streaming service for that is competitive. And one of the things they wanted to get is the rights to Futurama and Bob's Burgers and How I Met Your Mother and The Simpsons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it would put like just a small list of things that it would put would be The Simpsons, Buffy, Futurama, Family Guy, American Dad, New Girl, How I Met Your Mother, Bob's Burgers, and a bunch of other stuff.
Right. Nice. But the question is, can this compete with Netflix?
Those are some of the things that are really popular on Netflix.
That is true. That is true.
A lot of those are things that are popular on Netflix.
Yeah. So and stuff like The Simpsons, like years and years of The Simpsons. I don't think The Simpsons has been on.
It has not been on.
So like that would be cool. And that kind of deal would also include X-Men because Fox owns X-Men. So if Disney bought Fox, then Disney would also own X-Men. So,
which would make Marvel movies more cohesive, maybe? ?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. It would definitely make Marvel executives happy because they really want all their shit back.
Yeah.
And actually, that's kind of my. I have this feeling that what they're going to do with Spider-Man is they're going to kill him off in the Marvel universe and replace him with Miles Morales. And not kill him off in the Fox universe and have like Peter Parker in the like mainstream Marvel universe. I think that's where we're headed. I could see like a pivotal moment in a movie where Spider-Man like disappears, and then just a branching timeline of Sony's universe and Marvel's universe.
That's easy shit to do with comic books.
Welcome to Comic Fox.
And that would make sense if Marvel was able to get a Spider-Man back. I think they would settle for Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And that would make me happy. The Spider-Man I love is the Peter Parker Spider-Man, but having Marvel have a Spider-Man in like Miles Morales would make me happy too. Then it would just come down to villains and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah. The next thing is Academy members are a little bit weirded out by the idea of Netflix getting into the Academy Awards. It's been a big thing in Hollywood, like in general and at large. It's been very, very anti-Netflix because, you know, it's the whole it doesn't premiere in a theater. It's just like exists in its own space on its own streaming service, and that's kind of very much out of the norm with movies, and that's a lot of people are really contentious about it.
They have won Emmys and stuff for TV series, though, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the movie. Do they have a lot of original movies though?
Yeah, actually a bunch. Tangerine was one. Oh crap. There was one. I don't feel safe in this world anymore. Was one that came out this year. Happy Death Day.
Oh wait, no, was it? No, that one came out in theaters.
Oh, okay, it wasn't Happy Death Day. It was another one that came out this year that came out at the exact same time. There were also a couple of Stephen King movies that came out this year. So yeah, they've actually had a bunch recently.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't feel at home in this world anymore was what it was called. Yeah. So yeah, there are a bunch of things that are probably deserving of an Academy Award, but then again, the Academy is the Academy, and the Academy likes certain things and it doesn't like certain things. Some things it wants to not happen.
Yeah,
whether
but
or not the public likes it.
I feel like even old people like Netflix.
Yeah.
So even even old Oscar nominating people probably watch Netflix. So I think Netflix is so ubiquitous now that they know what it is.
Well, here's the thing.
It's not the same thing as animated movies.
Old people like Netflix. Old Hollywood people do not. They hate Netflix.
Guess that's true.
They feel like it completely goes against the entire idea of film, which is a social event where you go into a theater with a bunch of random strangers and experience a movie with nothing else. Whereas
silence, without interacting with these total strangers at all.
Exactly. Whereas Netflix is something that's streamed directly to your TV, and film didn't even start on TV. It's been the big screen stuff before TV even existed. So they're very, very nailed to the idea that Netflix is bad. It was like Martin Scorsese was attacking Netflix not too long ago. It's just one of those things that they really hate. Not for any particular reason, but because it's just not the way they do things.
Well, I guess we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, I agree. It's dumb. It's just, that's how they think. Yeah, I suppose we will. And I don't think that, it's going to be a forever thing. I'm pretty sure eventually, Netflix movies are going to, because it was the same thing with, shot on video movie. Originally, it's your movie had to be shot on film, or else you would not get in the Oscar. Bare line. Then, Slumdog Millionaire came out and completely changed the whole thing. Now you can be shot on whatever the fuck you want, and now everyone's using red cameras unless you're Quentin Tarantino or Christopher Nolan. So yeah. Anyway,
although the reason why Tarantino doesn't is because he used other weird versions of film, 85 millimeter and stuff instead.
Yeah. He does his own. And it's very interesting. I do kind of like this sort of how Tarantino very much holds to the classic. The next thing is that
I think there's room for both.
Yeah, I completely agree. I also believe that there's room for both. Apparently a Millennium is going to produce a Red Sonja movie because of the popularity of Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was
based
a good
on
movie.
a female heroine from a comic book. Actually, I think this is kind of cool because it's sort of I think the tide is starting to turn in the whole female heroine thing.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman definitely taught them that female leads make money in action movies, which is weird that it took them this long, but whatever.
Well, the problem was with all of the other female leads, you had Elektra and Catwoman and all these things that didn't make any money because they were shit. Of course, that's what Hollywood looks at. They look at all of the pieces that put together. This had a female lead, and that's why it didn't make much money. Even though this didn't make much money because word of mouth got out that it was fucking awful.
Yeah,
and
maybe
no one wanted to see it.
Maybe it didn't make money because the script was terrible. But
fucking knows.
Who knows?
Yeah, but also there's that Black Cat and Silver Sable movie that Fox is working on.
Yeah.
Or is it Fox? No, Sony is working on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man universe, because they're doing a bunch of spin-offs with the Spider-Man universe, which is kind of interesting.
I mean, they want to make some sort of cinematic universe. That's all they got. They tried with Ghostbusters,
I feel like the Spider-Man has enough interesting characters that you could get away with it. Because Venom, Venom characters are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What?
It's good news, no matter what you want to, like, how you want to slice it. Like, having more female leads, whether you're interested in the actual fact that there are more female leads or not, it's just good. It's new shit.
Yeah. And not only is it new shit, but it's like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Hollywood ain't that diverse. But that's just because there's like this underlying thing about Hollywood. You know, they just don't think it makes money. And if this shows them that they make money, shit, good. I feel like they're getting more diverse because shit's making more money.
Go figure, things that are good make money, right?
Yeah. And Blade Runner didn't make money. Blade Runner was great, but you know,
before. Go figure.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey did Bad Thing.
So we talked about this indirectly last week, but we didn't know the full story at that time. But Netflix was canceling House of Cards, and at the time we didn't realize that it was because of allegations of underage sex with a minor, basically. Well, essentially rape, I guess. Well, definitely statutory rape, but so this is actually going a little bit farther now, and it seems like Netflix is cutting even more ties with Kevin Spacey in general. To kind of add insult to injury to this is Kevin Spacey tried to distract the media by coming out as like a proud gay actor to kind of sweep this under the rug, but it didn't work, and now he's being called a hypocrite and stuff by even I don't know. It's kind of, the whole thing's gross, and we don't want to talk about it much. But
one little thing. A lot of people have like had this theory that there is no bad time to come out. This was a really bad time.
This was probably the worst time.
This was bad. This is the worst possible time.
There's not many. Now we have to change it to there are not many bad times to come out.
Yeah, there are not many bad times to come out. Really, there aren't. This is, I would say. Next on the block is this is the one that I think is the most interesting because I didn't know any of this. Apparently, it was stuff with the previous Star Wars movies, but a lot of theaters aren't going to be playing The Last Jedi because of Disney's what Disney is asking of them. What they're saying is that Disney is going to receive 65% of the amount of money that the movie makes, which is kind of crazy.
I was under the impression that box office sales pretty much all went.
Oh no!
Actually, it's kind of the opposite. Normally, theaters pay to run the film, and the box office numbers kind of splits between the theaters who are running it and the holders. But actually, a majority of the box office numbers do go to the theater, I believe.
See, that's weird. That I was always told that the reason that concessions are so ridiculously priced at theaters is because box office makes them zero money.
Oh, well, here's the thing.
That was basically what I was told.
That is true, but the thing is, like, it's box office per like person. You look at these big box office numbers, but like on a theater to theater basis, it's not nearly as much, and they're giving away half of the money of like one ticket.
And even then, it depends on the theater, what their individual deals are, and what, like, the smaller the theater, the probably worse off they are from box office. But large theater chains like AMC and even the local one, Harkins, actually does make a decent amount of money from the ticket sales too. Concessions also cost a lot, but like, part of the reason why my local theater can do a thing like they'll give you a free popcorn if you buy a popcorn shirt and wear it to the theater, or bring refillable cups or whatever. Part of the reason why they can do that is because it encourages people to come back, which if you come back a lot, and even if you don't buy a lot of concessions, they're still making money on the tickets, even if it's not necessarily as much. I think it's a misnomer that they don't make any money from the box office. They make a majority of their money from the concessions. It's a little bit different, but it's nuancedly different. So
it's the concessions that are the thing that keeps them open.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, someone said in chat, Flashgen said in chat that it's also to make up for movies that they buy to run in theaters but don't fill out the theater.
Yeah.
Because if they own, like, they have to charge per showing, and if only half of the theater fills up, then they take kind of a hit for half of the theater, essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And the thing is, with all of that on the table, the reason that a lot of people aren't going to be showing The Last Jedi is because Disney is asking again for 65% of the revenue for ticket sales, which is, a majority of it. And the highest percentage of a Hollywood studio, like, ever, at all, at any time in history. They're also forcing them to screen the movie in the theater for 4 weeks.
On their largest
4 weeks.
Theater.
In their largest, yeah. Like, no matter what comes out after Star Wars has to screen for 4 weeks in the big one.
Which is really weird for my particular theater, because the theater I go to has one screen that is, like, extra huge. Like, it is gigantic. It is, like, 3 stories tall or something.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of weird for that one, because it's, like, it's an extra huge one that always plays, like, the most recent release. And that's not to say that, I mean, they might have had Star Wars up there the whole time anyway, but it just seems weird that they would be required to do that in this situation for my theater.
That's what I'm thinking about that particular stipulation. Like, that doesn't really sound that bad if you think about it. Like, Disney's forcing you to play their new movie on the biggest theater. Well, okay, no, but Star Wars is the movie that has to be on the biggest screen. Like, you're probably going to do that for quite a while.
Regardless of... but, I don't know, Star Wars in its 4th week might not be as big as something else that comes out at the same time.
Immediately as it comes out. And it's not like Star Wars is the only goddamn movie there. And the thing is, with other Disney movies, it's only like a 2-week stipulation, which sort of makes sense. It's like, in the first week, you put the big Disney movie on the big screen. Second week, okay, maybe something comes out, but, maybe not.
But Star Wars is still big enough, we'll just leave it up there. By the time you hit in the 4th week, it's like, it's been a month.
It's like, okay, we've had this up for a long ass time. Maybe we put another movie. It's really weird, and that's why a lot of the theaters getting kind of pissed at Disney, and I feel like that's kind of interesting. I can't wait to shit on this movie when it turns out to be just like Empire. I really hope it doesn't. I really do, because I have done a lot of defending.
Don't fucking lie. You really hope it does.
To be fair, Empire was the best one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I completely agree, but I feel like it should do something different. But I do like the director at the helm. I feel like he could do something different if Disney lets him. Let's find out. It's the waiting game. I don't know for sure, and I'm not going to be one of the people who's like, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be the same thing. I do feel like there is a chance.
Hollywood directors and producers, what do they know? Do they know things?
No.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking. Like, word for word, I was thinking
let's find out.
Yeah.
On all levels except for physical, I am Mr. Peanut Butter.
So anyway, moving on to our next story.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, Crunchyroll last Saturday had a malware attack where somehow they had code that was prompting users of the streaming service to download something called Crunchy Viewer, which was disguised malware. To the extent that Crunchyroll had to put out a tweet saying, "Attention all Crunchyroll users, please do not access our website at the current time. We are aware of the issues and working on," which is kind of hilarious. Yep. It's like, please don't use our website because we have malware and we're trying to get rid of it. I don't know.
This is kind of hilarious.
Killallnerds.exe.
Yeah, killallnerds.exe. It's crazy to think that this could happen. Crunchyroll's fucking big. Let's be honest. Crunchyroll's
It's basically the anime distributor.
It's the anime distributor.
Streaming service. Distributor actually is technically a different word, but That actually means something else. But yeah, for streaming, they're the premier streaming service for anime.
They're the premier anime guys.
Yeah, it's where people go to get their anime.
Yeah. And for it to have a huge malware thing, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So bad, of course. It sucks that your entire computer is destroyed by this. And it definitely
is that
bad.
What it did? What all did it do?
I don't know. I actually don't know, but I assumed it basically destroyed some of your computer for
mostly what malware does, or hijacks your computer for ransom. Depends.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them do that much. Sometimes they Oh, it would install a bogus Scofo host exe that they're not saying what it did. But that sounds like it wasn't a ransomware. That sounds like it was like a keylogger or something.
Oh yeah. Wow. But yeah. I mean,
so it was down for 3.5 hours on last Saturday.
Yeah, and that's kind of impressive. The only people I can think of that really had have had a big screw up like this is Tumblr every other week, but still.
No, not even Tumblr. Yahoo.
Yeah.
The parent.
Oh yeah,
the
Yahoo.
parent
Yeah,
for
sorry.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually it's Yahoo that's constantly talking about how they're getting hacked, and actually, it's to the point where literally every Yahoo email address has been compromised now. So
I would like
keep that in mind.
That as of this, not even a release on YouTube, but as of this live showing, Crunchyroll is now back up and running along with the app, so you can finally catch the most recent episode of Dragon Ball Super, as quoted from the article.
Yeah, but this article was also from last Saturday, so.
Yeah. You can also watch every other anime as well.
As of last Saturday, you can catch the new episode of Dragon Ball Super.
Specifically, that's the only one you can
And hell, as of this live recording, you can catch the next episode of Dragon Ball Super, probably.
And that's the only anime you can watch. That's it. You can watch
Dragon Ball Super. I mean, One Punch Man Season 2 isn't out yet, so what else would you go to Crunchyroll for?
Watch,
Okay, can we move on? You guys are just done
there's
now.
There's nothing to move on to. That's it. We're done.
Then we're moving on to the outro.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
And what's it called? Plugging and stuff.
Yeah, plugging. All right. So first things first. Me and Dalsson have done a streaming. We did a whole streaming. We streamed all of a playthrough of Night in the Woods, and we're going to release it on YouTube.
You can go up to the Twitch recording and watch the VOD right now, fuck ups and all. But if you'd like to watch the higher quality content, you should catch it on our YouTube channel, which has the URL now.
Yeah, you can do that.
YouTube.com/graveyardmedia.
/C/Graveyard Media.
Which I feel like I should just make a shout out. We got 100 goddamn subscribers in less than a week.
Less than a week.
That's
I remember specifically
incredible
Halloween night. I was talking to one of my buddies. I was like, "Yeah, our YouTube channel's pretty good. We got 100 and something subscribers." And then
we're up to 300 now.
Yeah, we were at 180 on November 1st, and now we're at 310 or something. Last time I checked.
That is amazing. I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed.
Seriously.
Seriously, guys. Really, thank you. Even if I probably should have put this in the beginning of the video, just because of the fact that no one's watching this. Anyway, other things that we're doing that. I'm going to be making a Wolfenstein 2 video that is reminiscent of the old one. It's going to come out probably within the next 2 weeks. I don't know how long it's going to take to make it. I don't know anything about it.
It might take a little while for you to make it because you'll have to play through the whole game to understand how the deep and intricate stealth mechanics. You won't be able to understand how to full stealth the game the first playthrough.
Yeah, like how I played through the entire game the first time and wait, no.
So yeah, there's the Wolfenstein coming up.
Yeah. Maybe
in the next 2 weeks. Then we got
we'll see.
Night in the Woods content, and I think we might try to get up a little bit more Let's Play content too.
Okay. Yeah, these two are going to be doing some more Let's Play stuff, and you should be excited for that.
I'm sorry we stopped Sniper Elite, but nobody liked it, including us.
Basically.
So...
Yeah. I think that's it. We will see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe.
And remember... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And stay beautiful.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.